But by the end of 1975, the Dolphins had evened the series, now one of the most spirited in football. 1981, Richard Todd, playing with a broken rib, gave the Jets a share of first place, directing a 16-15 upset of Miami. In the 82 AFC Championship game, A.J. Dewey set an AFC playoff record with 3 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown, as the Dolphins blanked the Jets 14-0 en route to the Super Bowl. In 1986, Dan Marino threw 6 touchdown passes. But Ken O'Brien hit Wesley Walker with 4 scoring tosses as New York beat Miami 51-45 in OT. And in 88, Marino passed for 521 yards. But Eric McMillan's 3 interceptions helped the Jets win 44-30. But are the current squads worthy of this special rivalry? The Jets have dropped 3 in a row after a lackluster performance against New England. And the Dolphins blew a chance for a wild card with a loss at San Diego. Perhaps it will be the team that listens to echoes of past triumphs in the series that prevails today, with the final wild card spot in the playoffs to the one with the winning hand.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins.
Sellout crowd 73,000 at Joe Robbie Stadium as the Jets and Dolphins battle for the playoffs on a beautiful South Florida day, 75 degrees. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Miami. Tom Hammond with Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath. In the words of Don Shula, the playoffs start early for these two teams. One game to decide which one continues to play. Joe, the Jets-Dolphins games, often high-scoring, wide-open affairs. What about this one?
Well, I think the major factor in today's game is the Miami Dolphin defense. If they can't stop the Jet rushing attack, which gained 203 yards in that first game, they're not going to have the ball enough for Marino to put points up on the board. So the key to me is the ability of the Jets being able to run the ball and Miami's defense stopping them.
And if it's a close game today, the Jets have a new kicker, Raul Allegre, signed this week to replace the injured Pat Leahy, and he'll be the field goal and extra point kicker for New York in this crucial game today.
Boy, you talk about some excitement. I mean, it's here, folks. This is do or die. Playoffs are home, unwrapping Christmas presents. Believe me, both of these teams want to be working during the holiday.
All right, Stoyanovich to kick off for the Dolphins. One game to determine which one gets the final NFL playoff spot. Mathis and Brown deep to receive the kick for the Jets. Mathis midway through the end zone for the touchback. Here the way the Jets line up offensively. Their offense 5th in the NFL. Center Jim Sweeney spent a couple of years snapping the ball to Dan Marino in his days at Pitt. O'Brien has not played well in recent games, but has still thrown for over 3,100 yards, 2 and more in the 1,000-yard receiving range. The Falcon offensive set for the Jets brings McNeil into the backfield with Mathis and Burkett for 4 wide receivers. First down, Jets at their own 20. And the handoff to Blair Thomas or to Brad Baxter, and Baxter gets 1 yard. Mike Reichenbach in the middle of the Dolphin defense on the stop. Here's the way the Dolphins line up defensively. That defense ranked 2nd from last in the NFL. Klingbeil, the 5th Dolphin to play nose tackle for Miami this year. Griggs leads the team with 5 sacks. In the secondary, Louis Oliver having an outstanding year. He's the Dolphins' top tackler and leads with 5 interceptions. In the Dolphin dime, Green, Magruder, and Iaquinello give them 7 defensive backs. Play action pass. O'Brien in trouble. Fumbles the football. Recovered by the Dolphins, they say signal, but it looks like Baxter has the football. The linesman pointed the Dolphins' way, but it will be 3rd down for the Jets.
Looks like the Jets are picking up where they left off last week. It's a good defensive rush from the left side to get to O'Brien. He really doesn't have a chance back there. Look at that pressure coming right there. I mean, he did not have a chance. I was surprised on first down, however, that the Jets chose to run off tackle right at their best linebacker rather than up the middle. The middle of this Dolphin defense is the weakness.
Dolphins with their nickel package on defense as O'Brien passes complete for very little yardage to Al Toon. About all that accomplished was to keep Toon's receiving streak intact. That's 92 straight games with a reception. But you talked about the Dolphin defense, Joe, and the Dolphin defense very impressive their first time on the field.
Well, they shut down that first down run. They immediately put the Jets in a passing situation. Toon is leaving the field now. Of course, it's a punt situation, but he's limping, so he's hurt something.
Aguilar to punt for the Jets, averaging just under 40 yards a kick. Fair catch called for and taken. Good field position for the Dolphins as the ball is taken at the 43-yard line. Miller on the fair catch, and now that Dolphin offense onto the field. Miami ranks 6th in the NFL, 3rd on the pass. Richmond Webb, hampered by injury, a bit surprised to be named to his 2nd straight Pro Bowl this week. And Marino closing in on 4,000 yards passing, also in the Pro Bowl, as is Mark Clayton. Clayton and Duper each close to 1,000 yards. So is leading rusher Mark Higgs. The Miami 4-wide package includes Miller and Martin with Jensen into the backfield. 39-yard Aguilar punt, and Marino completes his pass to Higgs. Mark Higgs for a gain of 8 into Jet territory before he's tackled by Joe Kelly. Here's the New York defense, ranked 12th in the NFL. Jeff Loggeman anchors the line. He has a career-high 9.5 sacks. Kyle Clifton has 119 tackles. He's the team leader for the 6th time. Hasty, the Jets' best cover man, he'll be on Mark Clayton today. And in the Jets' nickel, McMillan, who had an interception for a touchdown in the first meeting between these teams, won by the Jets, comes in at safety. Stargell and Coors also come in. Higgs falls forward enough for the first down. Got just to the yard marker before Marvin Washington takes him to the turf. There's Mark Higgs. Quite a story. Mark Higgs with 868 yards rushing coming into the game, and disappointed that he didn't make the Pro Bowl because Marion Butts of the Chargers has fewer yards than does Higgs, who thought about giving up football if he didn't make it this year. He's only 5'7", and that's stretching it a bit. He said he's always been the underdog. Got a chance to play when Sammy Smith was injured the first 4 games of the season. Was benched when Smith returned, but has regained the starting spot and has a shot at 1,000 yards. The measurement shows that it is just inches short. So Don Shula has reinstalled Mark Higgs into the lineup. And as we said, Higgs has responded with his best season as a pro, averaging 4 yards a carry, and with a shot at 1,000 yards rushing, which would be quite an accomplishment for the Dolphins, who typically have an anemic rushing attack. 3rd down and inches. Tony Page in the backfield with Higgs. Higgs, it'll be close. He tried to get airborne, and the Jets were ready for it. Marvin Washington underneath, Kyle Clifton over the top to stop Higgs in his tracks. Did his forward progress give him enough? They'll have to measure once more.
Mark Higgs, who very well may have made the Pro Bowl had he not missed those games earlier in the season, leaves his feet, tries to get over top. Look at the penetration by the Jet green jerseys right through there. Marvin Washington gets a hand on him first, and then Kyle Clifton, the linebacker, gets in. On the first 3 plays, he made it. On the first 3 plays, I do think this defensive line of the Jets is getting good penetration.
So Coslett sees his defense give up 8 yards on first down and then surrender very little after that. But by half the length of the football, the Dolphins keep their drive going. High formation in the backfield this time. Page is the up back, the fullback. Now they shift out of it to split backs. And Farrell Edmonds goes in motion. Marino, pass complete. Close to a 10-yard gain as Tony Page takes the reception. Page is the 3rd leading receiver for the Dolphins. That's his 53rd catch.
Well, I'll tell you something. Dan Marino sees these linebackers and these other people all dropping back. There's going to be a lot of room underneath there for Dan to get the ball to his running back. The Jets are expecting a lot of passing naturally from Dan, but look at the room that they're opening up underneath there. You see the running back is wide open with room to run.
Page finally stopped by Clifton and Mercereau, and it's just enough for another Dolphin first down. Scoreless first quarter. The Dolphins on their first possession, driving the football after getting good field position. A big series by their defense, and now it's the defense of the Jets. Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator, trying to rally his troops here. I said earlier, nobody stops Marino, and this could be one of those shootouts. The Jets won the earlier meeting, 41-23. Higgs, nothing. In fact, might have lost a yard as he was thrown back. They stacked Mark Higgs at the line of scrimmage. Dennis Byrd was there and had a lot of help from the other green jerseys. Jeff Loggeman got a piece of the tackle, too. This Jets defense ranked 12th in the NFL, Joe, and very tough against the run, 5th ranked against a running attack.
I tell you, I like those front four, Mercereau, Washington, Byrd, and Loggeman. But the problem the Jets have is none of those four guys really demand a double team. They don't have that one dominating guy up front that gives offenses fits.
2nd and 9 for the Dolphins. 10 minutes left in the opening quarter, scoreless game. Marino for Clayton. Incomplete. Mike Grimm had the coverage on Clayton that time, who wanted an interference call. And they had good coverage on Mark Clayton.
Oh, there's going to be a battle all day long. Now, Grimm stays with Clayton in pretty good shape. There's a little bumping downfield here. You see right now, that's certainly past the 5-yard area. And if you're a Dolphin fan, you might expect to have seen a flag there. But there's no flag, and we're back at it. Clayton knows that this is going to be a dog fight today.
Nickel defense for the New York Jets. Jensen in the backfield and now split wide. 4 wide receiver formation, and Marino in the shotgun. Marino bought some time and almost threw an interception. Kyle Clifton had it in his hands and couldn't hold it. Scott Miller, the intended receiver, but Clifton got right into that passing lane and had a chance to pick it off.
Well, once again, these Jets are dropping back in coverage. There seems to be an open area down here. Clayton's going to come down and really get nailed, but the linebackers that drop back are going to close quickly and make the play this time.
So Pete Stoyanovich is on to attempt a long field goal, a 54-yarder. It would be his longest of the season. His longest previous was 53 yards. Stoyanovich trying to give the Dolphins the lead. No good. From 54 yards, Pete Stoyanovich misses, and the Jets and Dolphins still scoreless.
When the night
While others just talk about quality, we're willing to take a stand. We'll take care of virtually everything your car needs for 2 years free. Now that's over and above the 3-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. So about all you pay for is gas. Introducing Value Care Ownership, standard on every car we make at Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai. Right now, your Hyundai dealer is standing by with some outstanding buys. So stop by.
Remember our whatchamacallit?
my hair.
Oh, check it out. Great.
How about that thingamajig? And that doohickey? At like you know who.
Bring the fish.
I caught this one.
With what's her names?
You'll never forget your big moments with the new UC1.
Nice catch, Dan.
It's the smallest, slimmest Canon 8mm camcorder yet.
Oh, hi, Dad.
What you call the who's or what's it?
The Canon UC1. You see one, you want one.
Ken O'Brien, who's been in a slump of late, hoping for Another career-type performance today. The last 3 weeks, you see he's hit just over 50%. But there have been some throws he has not made. He admitted that yesterday talking to us. He said he certainly wasn't thrilled with his performance a week ago against New England, when the Jets put up only 3 points in the game. First down play for the Jets. Johnny Hector gets the carry, and Hector pounds away for a 9-yard gain to the Jet 45-yard line. Louis Oliver forced to make the tackle. He's made a lot of them for the Dolphin defense. That's his 81st of the season. He leads the team in tackles. Let's check the Schick Tracer 10-minute ticker now for an update on the other scores around the NFL. Detroit still hoping for a divisional title. Atlanta and Dallas, that's a big one. They're tied 7-7. New England breaks on top of Cincinnati. And in the biggest game of the day here at Joe Robbie, we're scoreless. 3 tight ends here for the Jets on second down. Chris Dressel is one of them in motion. And the pass to Rob Moore complete for a New York first down. Just short of midfield. J.B. Brown hip on the tackle to knock Moore out of bounds. Rob Moore is the second leading receiver for New York. That's his 65th catch of the season.
Well, what set this play up was actually that first down run. That play went off tackle, broke back up the middle of that Miami defense. Miami's nose tackle, Klingbeil, he's playing with a bad right knee, and he is also their 5th nose tackle in there. The 2 linebackers right in the middle for Miami weren't their first-string linebackers, and so this is the soft spot of the defense.
Here's a play-action pass from O'Brien. Pulled it down and then tried to toss it off incomplete for Baxter. Baxter took a pretty good hit from Brian Cox. Joe, did he double clutch intentionally, or did the ball just kind of slip out of his hand as he tried to deliver it?
Well, he just threw a bad pass to Baxter. O'Brien stayed calm back there in the pocket. He's got pretty good protection that he'll step up into, but it's the coverage downfield of the Dolphins that have taken away his receivers. Now when he gets back up in there, he just misfires and misses Baxter. Kenny could have run the ball for maybe 8 or 10 yards, but he's not looking to run.
Brian Cox, the rookie linebacker of the Dolphins, who made that hit, a little shaken up, hurt his shoulder, replaced by the veteran Hugh Green. Brian had plenty of chances to run last week against New England, but he told us he really has to focus to run. He doesn't like to. Blair Thomas carries across the 50 and into Dolphin territory down to the 48-yard line. Mike Reichenbach on the tackle, and there are the numbers for Blair Thomas, who has been a disappointment. In fact, Bruce Kozla telling us he has yet to prove that he can consistently get the job done under any kind of conditions. And a lot of people are writing in New York, and a lot of fans starting to talk about whether Blair Thomas was indeed a first-round draft choice. 4 wide receivers on for the Jets. It's 3rd down and 6. O'Brien's pass complete to Mathis, who fights for a first down. Good run by Terrence Mathis after he made the reception. Louis Oliver and Bobby Harden force him out of bounds, but a good run got the first.
Well, on the top of the screen, you'll see 81 breakout. Now 25, Louis Oliver, one of the best, hardest hitters in the league, best tacklers, misses the tackle. I think Oliver is sometimes over-aggressive, you know? He comes up there, he fired up there that time and missed the tackle. Had he broken down under control, he'd have stopped Mathis short of the first down.
Jets have yet to beat a team with a winning record, but could make the playoffs with a victory over Miami today. When they beat Miami earlier, the Dolphins were only 2-2. O'Brien, quick pass in the flat, complete to Thomas. Blair Thomas gets 4 yards, just short of the Dolphin 35-yard line. Louis Oliver on another tackle. Blair Thomas is the 3rd leading receiver for the Jets. His 30th catch of the season.
I tell you, the Jets did a wise thing there, since it's a successful play, of course. They put Thomas out wide that time. They forced coverage by a safety on the speedy running back. They'll take that kind of coverage all day long. They'd love to match up Louis Oliver one-on-one with Blair Thomas.
Jets driving on their 2nd possession of the game. Scoreless, 6.5 left first quarter. Draw play to Thomas. Room to run outside. Now cuts it back, and Blair Thomas with a first down deep into Dolphin territory. And Al Toon, the veteran receiver, downfield with a good block. Mike Reichenbach finally having to make the tackle on Thomas from behind.
Well, the flow goes away from Thomas. It'll go to the left of the screen. You see everybody's pulling over there. Now Thomas cuts back, and there's excellent blocking on the outside. Odom is taken out nicely by the lead block, and good. That was Dave Cadigan getting downfield. The guard showing some hustle. And watch 88 L. Toon right there in A.B. Brown's face.
First down Jets at the 23 of Miami. Baxter pounds to the 15-yard line. Reichenbach and Cox, the linebackers, being taken for a ride, though, by Baxter, who had the legs driving. Baxter, of course, is the money man when it gets close to the goal line. He has scored 9 touchdowns this season. He leads the AFC in rushing touchdowns. Discussion there with Brian Cox, who's back on the field. There's a look at Brad Baxter. His alma mater, Alabama State, won the first Heritage Bowl ever played here at Joe Robbie Stadium yesterday. Baxter spun down by Reichenbach. And I think he's short of the first down.
Yeah, but this is the kind of drive that Baxter and his Jets need. They're keeping the ball away from Marino. Miami, other than that first series, really haven't shown the Jets that they can stop their running attack. Bruce Coslet knows that. He knows he wants to run the football and mix in the passing. But by running the ball against the defense, it's not really good. He's keeping it away from Marino and his potential scoring.
3rd and 1 on the 10th play of the drive. You see the rushing attack for the Jets. They have 3 tight ends in this formation. Dressel in motion. Baxter thrown back with the defense. I don't think he made it, and the ball came loose. Scramble for the football. Cliff Odom, the man that put the hit on Baxter. They'll unstack him. Baxter recovered a fumble earlier. He carries the ball and coughs it up here.
You know, you can draw up all the defenses you want, the X and O's and all this, run all these plays, but if you don't hold on to the ball, Jack, you're not going to win the game. But you got to give credit to the defense that time. That looked like a hard hit on Baxter.
It will be enough for the Jets' first down as they recover the ball and get enough yardage as well. Here it is.
Oh, a square hit. Boom, right there, and the ball comes loose. I can't tell who made the hit. There were 3 Dolphins right there.
Odom, I think, the man that really pounded him. Now, the Jets have been inside the 20 in the red zone, 2nd in the NFL, trailing only Buffalo, but they often don't do well, especially the last 3 weeks, all losses. O'Brien's pass complete on the sideline to Dressel. The big tight end tiptoes down and makes the catch at the Dolphin 4-yard line.
Well, the Jets caught the Dolphins. You know, they've been having trouble getting in from inside the 20. But what Coslet has done today, look at those numbers. They just haven't gotten in the last 3 weeks. But, of course, again, we keep talking about the last 3 weeks. Tom, they lost to 2 first-place teams, Buffalo and Detroit. This last play, the Jets opened up with 3 tight ends in there and then went to the passing play. This is different for Bruce Coslet inside the 20.
Coslet and Ken O'Brien telling us yesterday the Jets plan to employ the tight ends in the passing game much more today. Baxter burrows his way to about the 2. Jeff Cross will get credit for the tackle as the power runner Baxter being used extensively in this drive. It's been a good mix of run and pass.
Yeah, I wonder if Baxter's thinking about fumbling right now. You know, when you get hit early in the game, you drop the ball, put it on the ground. You just don't forget about it like that. I'm sure Baxter's more concerned with holding on to that ball right now than fighting for 2 or 3 extra yards.
We talked to him at practice yesterday, and Baxter was really excited. He said, boy, I'm ready. He said, I'd like to score 4 or 5 touchdowns. He laughed. He is the man that has scored more than anyone else rushing in the league. And they're trying to measure here, but someone said the chain broke. The link came loose.
Right here on the field. 1 moment, please.
Boy, anything to slow the flow down, you know? Anything to try.
Gordon McCarter, I think, said 1 moment, please. As they,
well, if they tie a knot in it, will that shorten the thing, or does that mean they have
only
to
for the home team can you do that?
Oh. Look, when they pull the chain here, folks, you see what... I wonder if that fella's been pulling those chains for a long time, or this is his first time out.
Well, Coslet sees his team come just a little bit short. This has been an impressive drive for the Jets, and Oliver Dottie Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, trying for a goal line stand now. And he said yesterday, everyone says they have to stop the jet run, but Joe, he said he just didn't have the troops up front on the defensive line to try to stack up to stop it.
Well, you know, the two ends that Tom Olivadotti have, Turner and Cross, are quality ends. But once again, Klingbeil that is playing in the middle, Klingbeil has a bad knee, and he is the 5th defensive nose tackle the Dolphins have used. Turner's a good player, 95, but 99, he's a good player. He's just not their best. And along with the two linebackers, 11 years in the league for Odom with a bad knee, and Reichenbach has been in there 8 years, was picked up basically as a backup, but he's done a wonderful job filling in. You still have to test the middle of that defense.
Of course, the Dolphins missing Pro Bowl linebacker John Offerdahl most of the season, out with injury. Are they repairing the chain? That must be what they're doing. Gives us a chance to look at our shift tracer 10-minute ticker once again. No change in those scores. Cincinnati and New England tying it up. Boy, New England, a vastly improved team, bidding for their 7th win of the season after winning only 1 a year ago. Here at Joe Robbie Stadium, we're in the first quarter with 2:59 left, and the Dolphins and the Jets are scoreless, but New York knocking on the Miami goal line.
It's a matter of inches. Sometimes a quarterback or an offensive unit can beat the defense by going on a quick count. A snap that catches the defense just a hair before they're early. I don't know whether O'Brien will use that, certainly with this crowd noise, which is a major factor to an offense. Kenny told me yesterday that they've worked a lot on the silent counts, and I don't care how much you work on it, it's still a problem.
Bruce Coslett saying yesterday that O'Brien couldn't afford to go 0-8. Had to get a good start against a Marino quarterback foe. In December, though, Ken O'Brien has had his problems. 8 wins, 17 losses. More interceptions than touchdowns. He'd like to prove a lot of things with a win here today.
Yes, he would. He would, but I always stick up for some quarterbacks, and O'Brien, too. It's a team game, folks.
Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up next. You'll either see the Chiefs battle the Raiders, preview of the playoffs, or the Broncos against the Chargers. Broncos have a chance for a first-round bye. Here's Roger Duffy lined up as a tight end for the Jets on 3rd down and inches. And the give to Freeman McNeil to the goal line, and it'll be 1st and goal, New York. Freeman McNeil, the veteran, 11 years out of UCLA, coming into the game for the first time and carrying on that play.
Boy, you talk about a quality back, a guy that has seen most of it. Watch how he gets off his feet up over there, fights for that first down. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry this year in his 11th season.
And at the end of the season, he'll set an NFL record, 11 straight years with a rushing average over 4 yards a carry. 1st and goal, Jets. Didn't get in. Stopped inside the 1 by the center of that Miami defense, with Chuck Klingbeil leading the charge.
You just got to wonder when O'Brien's going to come with the play-action pass. You know, you're darned if you do and darned if you don't here, because it's so close to that goal line. You think the quarterback can sneak it over there? Why try a pass? We're so close. But if that defense is stacked in there tight again, I wouldn't be surprised to see O'Brien come with a play action.
It is a tight formation both ways. Inside the 1 on 2nd and goal. Burkett in motion. Baxter dives. Touchdown.
Very efficient drive by the Jet offense. I mean, they took control of the ball after the missed field goal, and the offensive line more or less dominated the line of scrimmage. Here there's a nice hole for Baxter. Well, a nice pile that he can get over anyway with the dive. Nice drive by these Jets.
Brad Baxter with his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Jets are on the board. Now here's the new kicker. Raul Allegre just signed this week. He was working on his master's degree at the University of Texas in Austin in civil engineering when they called. Released by the Giants in November. And his first kick as a Jet, a little low, but through. And Raul Allegre feels a little better as the Jets soar to the lead.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. You can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
When the night
While others just talk about quality, we're willing to take a stand. We'll take care of virtually everything your car needs for 2 years free. Now that's over and above the 3-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. So about all you pay for is gas. Introducing Value Care Ownership, standard on every car we make at Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai. Right now, your Hyundai dealer is standing by with some outstanding buys. So stop by.
So this thing comes in the mail. It's a big plan. It's going to save me all this money over AT&T if I just do this, try this, and spend that. Well, as you know, I've been meaning to get rid of everything in my life that's easy, like running water, right? Why not just carry pails down to the stream? And electricity, it's so predictable. And yeah, let's definitely replace the long-distance service you never even have to think about. I like easy. AT&T is easy. Give me a break. They're just not AT&T.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai. Makers of the Excel, Scoop, Sonata, and the brand new Elantra. By Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. And by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Packed house at Joe Robbie Stadium. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath with you as a textbook drive by the New York Jets. Nearly 8.5 minutes of possession. Baxter takes it over. And, of course, time of possession is the game the Jets love to play, and they do it well. They kept Marino on the sideline and got 7 points to boot. Louis Aguiar ready to kick off. He did a good job on the hold for Allegre's extra point. The snap kind of bounced back, but Aguiar made a good hold. Mark Logan awaits the kick. Aguiar kicks it straight up and down. Taken by Edmonds, one of the up men. There's a penalty marker on the play. Flag down. Aguiar with a hold, Joe, was good on the extra point.
Oh, sure. Take a look at it. The ball's going to be low and then bounce a little bit and lose control of it, get it back up there, and then Allegre kicks it through. No, I don't think, Raul, it's going to be like that all the time. He's probably wondering, what are you guys trying to do to me here with that hold? Yeah, there was an offsides penalty against the Jets.
Offside, number 87, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Gordon McCarter saying offside. They're going to re-kick.
All right, let's take a look at this fine double-team block by Jim Sweeney and Dwayne White up front. Reichenbach will take himself right out of the play. But watch Sweeney and White double-team that man right off the ball. Knock him in the end zone. Look at that block. Beautiful.
Well, White, the road grader, he is the big offensive lineman that weighs 312 pounds at least. And Jim Sweeney, 286, played Santa Claus at the Jets' Christmas party earlier this week and then went to some children's hospitals in his Santa outfit. Made quite a picture, Jim Sweeney at 6'4", 286 pounds. He's right back there sitting on the bench talking to his offensive line teammates. As we pointed out earlier, he was Dan Marino's center at Pitt.
Isn't Allegre supposed to be able to kick deep? I mean, just hit that thing a lot, or rather, Aguiar. I mean, isn't Aguiar supposed to be able to get that ball deep? That last kick was an awful high kick and short, too.
It was. Here's Aguiar, who had his chance as a field goal kicker last week, 1 of 2, and they signed Allegre. Taken by Craver, one of the up men, and a good return. He's to the 30-yard line. So the short kick results in pretty good field position for the Dolphins. They'll take over, trailing 7-0.
When the night
While others just talk about quality, we're willing to take a stand. We'll take care of virtually everything your car needs for 2 years free. Now that's over and above the 3-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. So about all you pay for is gas. Introducing Value Care Ownership, standard on every car we make at Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai. Right now, your Hyundai dealer is standing by with some outstanding buys. So stop by.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
These Dolphins would like to join some of the great Miami teams of the past. That banner atop the stadium commemorating a Dolphin championship. And now Marino saw the Jets consume nearly 8.5 minutes. Do you get cold on the sideline even in warm weather?
You get cold, you get anxious, you can't wait to get started.
Time of possession, 10.5 Jets, 3 Dolphins. Marino. First down catch by Martin Clayton. It covered 11 yards with Brim on the coverage.
Boy, this is just good timing by Dan Marino. Brim has to respect Clayton's deep threat, then Clayton will break it off nicely, and the ball's right on target. You can't stop this pass. I mean, Brim would have had to have been playing underneath to stop that pass, and had he been underneath, then Clayton would have gone deep.
Mark Clayton on his way to another Pro Bowl, and that's the catch for him, which keeps his record intact, 79 consecutive yards, 82 consecutive, including the playoffs. With a catch. Mark Higgs stopped at the line of scrimmage. Higgs has carried 4 times now for only 3 or 4 yards. Loggeman and Clifton were ready for the Dolphins' leading rusher.
Do you get the feeling that every time Marino turns around and hands the ball off, the Jets defense says, oh, good. He's not going back to pass. You know, the Jet defense knows the danger of this Miami offense being Marino, and I got to believe, sure, they'd love to see Marino handing the ball off to Higgs quite a bit.
They talked about giving him some different looks on defense today. You see Marino surveying the defense there as the first quarter comes to an end. Battle for the playoffs, and after the first quarter, the Jets are on top.
You have a different view of life. You don't want to get bogged down in revolving credit on bank cards. All that revolving debt, all that outrageous interest. This is not for you. You know how to get out of that trap. The card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Ooh, it took a cold morning like this one for me to discover a really great hot cereal for my family. And who would have expected? It's grape nuts. I just pour grape nuts, add milk, and microwave for a minute. It's got a warm, smooth, hearty taste. It's so delicious, we all love it. And grape nuts is fat-free. It's the perfect way to help keep us all going on a cold winter's morning. Hot, delicious grape nuts. Try it for yourself.
Hot or cold, breakfast with post-grape nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
It's a good thing they have such a strong waistband. Thank goodness they're 100% combed cotton. And fortunately, they keep their comfortable fit. Because if they were anything less than BVD brand underwear, it could be a little embarrassing. BVD, you're better off with them on.
Your dentist told you about plaque, but you didn't listen. You need the new Braun Oral-B plaque remover. It removes plaque, just like your dentist wants you to.
That shelf should hold now, Doc.
The Braun Oral-B plaque remover.
Jets leading 7-0 as we start the second quarter. That long jet drive sort of took some steam out of the sellout crowd at Joe Robbie Stadium, too. And the Dolphins will take over. Dan Marino has hit 3 of his first 5 passes, 29 yards. As a 2nd and 10 here. Marino's pass, too tall, intended for Mark Duper. Duper was bothered with an abscessed tooth earlier in the week, but said he was okay for today. As we look at the numbers after the first quarter, as you might guess, heavily in favor of the Jets, who hardly allowed the Dolphins the ball at all in that first period.
Well, if there was one tactical move I thought was a bad move, it was trying that 54-yard field goal. Now, Stoyanovich has kicked a 53-yarder before, but by trying that 54-yarder and missing it, they gave the Jets some tremendous field position early.
6 defensive backs for the Jets. The Dolphins had Duper, Miller, Clayton, and Martin, and Jensen in the lineup. Third and long. Marino sacked. Dennis Byrd collapses on Dan Marino and now has 5.5 sacks on the season. Byrd and Lageman, who have become close friends on that defensive line of the Jets, get the patch rush on Marino.
Oh, a lot of Lageman's getting back there, too. Richmond Webb pushes him outside, but Marino can't get to his receiver before Byrd gets him around the leg. That was a combination of good pass pressure. Now, Marino's ready. He didn't have a receiver right away, and Byrd was there.
Jets sacked Marino 4 times in the earlier victory this season, as Roby, who leads the AFC in punting average, puts his first one on the way toward Terrence Mathis, who takes it at the 11th. Flag down, and Mathis out of bounds at the 20. Fags all over the place, and Roby down, Reggie Roby. And from the grimace on his face, I don't think that's an acting job that you see the punters put on sometimes. I think he's hurting.
He's hurting. I don't see any flags anywhere around Reggie Roby. They're downfield for illegal block.
Roby was very miffed at not being selected to the Pro Bowl. Jeff Gossett got the nod, and Roby, who leads the AFC, averaging 45.5 yards, as you see, was upset. Roby had a 53-yard punt, and Mathis brought it back 9 yards.
He hit a beautiful punt, no doubt. Now they're examining that foot of his. It appears to be his left foot, which would be, I guess, the lesser of the two evils or something. You know, he punts with his right foot.
Illegal block. Number 91 receiving team during the return.
I hope he gets that thing fixed before the game's over.
First down.
He's talking about an illegal block. I think Paul Fraze had an illegal block on Tony Page. How was Roby hurt?
Oh, he did it himself. He just took a bad step.
We'll return to Joe Robbie, where the Jets will have the football and a 7-0 lead.
I've had my share of sore throats. I just went to the doc with a doozy. Nobody suggested for fastest relief? Forceps? Doc was right. You can actually feel the pain go away in seconds.
More doctors recommend Chloraseptic spray for fastest relief because Chloraseptic's powerful medicine penetrates nerve endings on contact.
I can't prevent a sore throat from ever coming back. But when it does, I don't have to suffer.
For fastest relief, doctors say Chloraseptic spray.
Would you trust these moments to anything less than Kodak Gold? There's no better way to capture the true colors of America than with Kodak Gold.
When life turns up the heat.
Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff Green.
There's Degree antiperspirant. Degree's body heat activated.
1 more minute.
To release extra protection.
Jeff?
Hi.
Degree, your body heat turns it on.
Back. This time we get it. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
Christmas Day, it's a battle for L.A. as James Worthy and the Western Conference champion Lakers meet their crosstown rivals Danny Manning and the Clippers. Then, Christmas night, the battle we've all been waiting for as Michael Jordan and the world champion Bulls take on Larry Bird and the Celtics. A special Christmas Day presentation of the NBA on NBC.
Jets with the football and a 7-0 lead early in the second quarter. The ball after the penalty all the way back to the New York 9-yard line. O'Brien on play action with plenty of time. Lost it high in the air. That's like a pop fly. Penalty markers down and the ball incomplete. Toon in a jump ball with J.B. Brown. And that was a bad-looking throw.
That was one of those wobbly ducks that we throw up there in the air sometimes, but that ugly, wobbly throw may turn out to be O'Brien's biggest throw of the game so far, because it appears that the Jets are going to have an interference call go their way.
Lewis Oliver.
Pass interference. Number 25, defense, automatic system.
Oliver is hot.
Well, it's called now. It's over with, and they're going to have to get the game on because the official's not going to change his call. It might have been a bad call, Lewis, but it's made. Let's take a look at it, see if you can tell number 25 right in the middle of the screen here on the bottom. He's going to get over there and then bump Toon somehow. That's who they call the penalty on, but I don't see it yet. That's Brown holding Toon back. I guess they called that on Brown instead of Oliver because Oliver wasn't anywhere near the play.
It amounts to a 42-yard penalty, and it puts the Jets at the 49. Meanwhile, the Dolphin punter, Reggie Roby, being taken for x-rays after injuring his knee. Jim Jensen is the backup. That play blown dead and a penalty marker down. Jim Jensen, Mr.
Offense, 5 yards, still first down.
McCarter with a delay call against the Jets.
Inexcusable. This is something that really baffles me. I mean, the Jets had all that time during the argument by Oliver to the officials to get their play ready and go. Meantime, Costlick's offense gets a delay of the game penalty called. I can't understand that.
Penalty puts the football back to the Jet 46-yard line, and the fans still letting their displeasure with the penalty be known. Draw play, Blair Thomas trying to pick his way forward, nothing there. Loss of one. Defense led by Chuck Klingbeil, the nose tackle.
What is that?
We're told that Reggie Roby may have injured his Achilles tendon, being tended to in the locker room. And as we said, the backup punter is Jim Jensen, who does just about everything for this football team. But a powerful weapon. The league's leading punter, Reggie Roby, may be injured. And now Blair Thomas, the Jets' leading rusher, limps to the sideline. Both teams predicted this would be a hard-fought, hard-hitting game. O'Brien, tight end, Boyer can't hold on. Juggling attempt by Boyer goes for naught as we check in with Bob Costas for an NFL Live update. Bob?
All right, Tom, Cincinnati gets even at home against the Patriots on this 21-yarder from Esiason to Rodney Holman. So it's even up at 7 in the second. Now consider this. The Jets could make the playoffs today, or if things break differently, they could wind up with the same record as the Patriots, 7-9.
Well, a lot of teams would like to be in the position of playing for the playoffs. Some writers have said that neither of these teams belongs. You get a lot of argument from the players and coaches. Strike!
Oh,
Burkett.
my goodness, what a catch!
Chris Burkett from Ken O'Brien for a Jet first down. J.B. Brown made the tackle, and Chris Burkett named this week as the Jets' most valuable player for 1991 with a diving clutch reception.
Burkett, 87, top of the screen, going to come inside, make a break. Hey, now watch where O'Brien puts the ball. Burkett will leave his feet and then double catch it there. He brings it back into his chest. I mean, that was a fine catch. O'Brien, it starts here with the pass protection, has afforded excellent protection to wait on Burkett to get that deep.
Clutch catch by Chris Burkett, his 23rd of the season, none bigger. Hector. Johnny Hector to the 30 of the Dolphins. Tackle there made by Brian Cox. Chris Burkett, overwhelmingly named the Jets MVP, had his brother killed in an automobile accident, and a year ago thought about quitting football. Now the Jets MVP, and with a clutch reception on that last play for a New York first down. Starter 10-minute ticker gives us a quick look at the other scores. Dallas with a lead on Atlanta. Atlanta with a chance for the divisional title. Buffalo leading Detroit. That would hurt the Lions' chances of overtaking the Bears. 7-0 Jets here. You see the clock ticking down. Second quarter. O'Brien's got a man wide open. Hector can't hold it. Johnny Hector wide open at the 5. O'Brien's pass took him on a 360, and he couldn't hold on.
Not the best throw by O'Brien. Hector on the left side of the screen is going to sneak out and run a little circle pattern right down the middle. He adjusts nicely, but lets it go through his hands. He might have jumped just a hair early. They were just off a little bit, but O'Brien found a big hole back there in that secondary. That's twice now that O'Brien has chosen to go to his running back and his tight end in that passing situation.
The Jets using running backs and tight ends over the middle effectively here in the first half. O'Brien chased from the pocket, picks up a convoy, and now will run. Wishes he hadn't. He's to the 25 and hit hard there by the master of the big hit, Lewis Oliver.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. O'Brien did the right thing there. There was not a receiver open downfield, and O'Brien knows the importance of yardage for this field goal attempt. Pretty good blocking, but he gets flushed out of the pocket toward us. Now, there is nobody open downfield. He smartly takes it up, wraps the ball up nicely. He just wants to get that field goal possession back.
And now Allegre, who played in 3 games for the Giants this season when Matt Barr was injured. He hasn't missed a kick officially this season. 6 for 6 now, points after, and 2 for 2 in field goals. 43-yard attempt. No good. Kicking continues to be a problem for the New York Jets. They'll have to settle for that 7-point margin.
The white zone is for elite.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right!
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
The cold is miserable in this environment. Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the ache, the runny nose. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus fights tough winter colds with a combination of ingredients you can't get anywhere else.
Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. If I don't go to work, kids go hungry.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds. For nighttime relief without alcohol, try Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime.
This holiday, MasterCard helps you give the people on your list their favorite things with the Master Values program. Save 10 to 25% on specially featured merchandise when you use MasterCard for clothing to housewares at Kmart, the latest music at Sam Goody and Musicland, and wherever you find Happy Holidays Barbie. Look for Master Values at fine stores everywhere, only from MasterCard. Think of it as our holiday gift to you.
I choose isotoner gloves. Whoa, did I forget anyone? Catch this. So you take care of the hands. Take care of you.
Raul Allegre missing a 43-yard field goal. The Jets kickers have really struggled. Pat Leahy, not even dressed today, still on the active roster, but inactive for this game. Mark Higgs, first down carry, tackled by Jeff Lageman, and short yardage again for Higgs as the Jets, tough against the run, continue to shut down the Dolphin rushing attempts.
Well, Lageman just came so hard down the line of scrimmage there and caught Higgs from the backside. Relentless pursuit. No one will block him, and look at the angle he takes in his pursuit. He's able to catch up to Higgs before Higgs is headed upfield.
Higgs has carried 5 times for only 2 yards and now is replaced by Sandy Smith in the Dolphin backfield. Marino in trouble, ducks away from one man and tosses to Page, who makes the catch at the 29-yard line. small gain on the play. James Hasty made the tackle on Page. It was Mo Lewis that made Marino hurry his throw.
Marino's pretty fancy with his footwork. He doesn't look like he's quick of foot, but he's able to avoid that rush.
Here's a look at the quarterback comparison on how the two quarterbacks facing off today, O'Brien and Marino, have fared against the other man's team and had some of their biggest days. We asked the two quarterbacks if they felt they were in a personal shootout. They said, no, not really. But it often has worked out that way. Jensen joins Marino in the backfield, 4 wide. Marino drills it short of the first down. Jensen makes the catch, but stopped well short of the first down. Hasty and Clifton on the tackle for New York, and Marino walks to the sideline. Now, remember, Roby injured. We were told that Jensen was the backup punter. Now they say it'll be Stoyanovich. Stoyanovich, the place kicker, will try the punt. There's Stoyanovich lining up in punt formation. Terrence Mathis is the deep man for New York.
I'm just amazed that Jensen didn't get enough yardage for the first down that time. Geez, 3rd and 6, you got to make sure you get the yardage.
Put some pressure on Stoyanovich. Kicks a low line drive kick, but it takes a good Dolphin bounce. So this is going to look good, and the stat sheet, it'll roll dead inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line. Mike Williams downs it there. Stoyanovich tries a punt. Not bad.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
Wait a minute. I want to give you a gift while we're alone. Something just for you.
A washer and dryer?
Come on, will you be serious?
Okay.
Close your eyes. Come on. Merry Christmas.
This Christmas, give her the gift of love. Diamonds.
In the right hands, even the most functional things can be art. So we asked a sculptor to design a new luxury sedan, the Mazda 929. And while it offers a generous list of safety features and amenities to comfort both mind and body, its richest rewards offer the soul. The new 929, the first luxury sedan from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. You can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine. Strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By the Diamond Tennis Bracelet. This Christmas, give her the gift of love. Diamonds. By Mylanta, the antacid doctors recommend most. And by Hewlett-Packard. Keep those ideas coming, and we'll keep making them look their best.
From Joe Robbie Stadium, Tom Hammond and Joe Namath. Larry Cirillo, our producer. Peter Bleckner, our director. 7-0 Jets, 8.5 left. Just under that for the first half from Joe Robbie. 3 tight ends, Boyer, Dressel, and Kelly. Johnny Hector gets the handoff. And Hector fighting his way for good yardage. Rips off 7 or 8 yards on first down for New York before Cliff Odom can make the tackle.
Well, he's starting off to the right and then going right up the middle. Jim Sweeney, number 53, sets Klingbeil up for the Dressel trap, and then Dressel comes in and blocks him. Actually, Hector hasn't been hit until he got into the secondary, and they had a safety, Harden, making the first hit. I tell you, that's what the Jets want to do, run the ball, try to keep it up the middle, keep the ball away from Marino.
Expect Hector to get more action. Blair Thomas has injured his ankle and may not return for the game. Here's a play-action pass, and O'Brien can build a tent back there, and then finally nobody's open, and Jeff Cross collapses on O'Brien. Good coverage in the secondary. O'Brien had time initially, but nowhere to go with it.
Well, both J.D. Brown and Destiny Jackson did a heck of a job back there covering. Watch all this time. O'Brien looks to Toon. He doesn't have it. He comes over here to Moore. He doesn't have it. Now he can't go anywhere. There's Jeff Cross right there. Both cornerbacks have done a heck of a job right here and right here. These two guys just do a job in coverage this time.
Nickel defense for the Dolphins here. It's 3rd and 10. Pressure on O'Brien. Being chased. Lets it fly. Almost intercepted. Rob Moore, the intended receiver, but Michael Magruder had a shot at it for the Dolphins. T.J. Turner putting the pressure on O'Brien, and he threw an ill-advised pass, but got away with it.
Rob Moore actually do a good job of breaking up this interception. 28 Magruder in the chase position, closes on the ball from behind, but Moore gets right back in there to break it up.
So Aguiar will punt. His first one covered. Only 39 yards. Pressure on Aguiar. He got it away. Good high spiraling kick. Fair catch by Scott Miller. Made at the 35-yard line of Miami. Crowd wanting that potent Dolphin offense to get in gear. They'll have the ball when we return.
There's a big sense of pride in owning a company. I think customers have noticed the change in the company and the change in us. We've got this 24-hour hotline in case something happens while you're out on the road.
If you're in a hurry, we've added extra buses, get you in and out fast.
We want to make sure that our customers see that we can provide them with the type of service that they expect and deserve.
We love to make people happy. That's a part of our business. Keeps you coming back.
We want to see them back at our counter again many times. So why rent from anyone but an owner?
Did you tell your boss you're quitting?
No, I'm telling him on Monday.
Got any plans yet?
You?
No celebrity spokesman.
I'm opening a restaurant.
No beach volleyball games.
How about another Heineken?
No lengthy description of the brewing process. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You got that steady paycheck? Oh, yeah. I got a few bucks put away.
So you want to own a restaurant?
You know, what I really want to do is be a relief pitcher.
When the Mazda Miata first came along, it was like nobody else's baby. But then it was designed to be different. Now the Miata will be joined by 5 new Mazda cars, like the MX-3 Sports Coupe with the only V6 in its class, and the 929 luxury sedan with dual airbags standard. Cars as pure and personal as the Miata. Designed to be different? You bet. The Miata was just the beginning.
New Year's Day, Ohio State takes on Syracuse in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Then number 6 Penn State battles 10th-ranked Tennessee in the Fiesta Bowl. And it's a primetime showdown that will determine the national championship as number 1 Miami battles Big 8 champion Nebraska at the Federal Express Orange Bowl. New Year's Day on NBC.
Airship Shamu with us this afternoon in the skies over South Florida. The traveling goodwill ambassador for the SeaWorld parks in Orlando and Texas, California, and Ohio. Giving us the pictures high above Joe Robbie Stadium. First down, play action from Marino. Wide open, Duper makes the catch for a 9-yard gain. Lonnie Young on the tackle, and Duper with the reception. And Joe, is it time for Miami to abandon the running game? They've only gained 2 yards on the ground so far.
Yeah, I agree that they should be throwing the ball on first down just as they did here. And as we mentioned earlier, if you're the Jet defense, you want to see them try to run the ball at you and not have Marino throwing those rockets downfield.
Don Shula, winningest active NFL coach. 2nd and a yard.
Watch it back!
Mark Higgs just ready for him again. I don't think he made it. Stopped in his tracks. Marvin Washington from the defensive line as you look at the starter 10-minute ticker. Buffalo still leading the Lions, and Dallas up 10 on the Falcons. Indianapolis, if they win that game against Tampa Bay, they get the first 2 picks in the draft. Is that right?
I think so. The awful trade for Chris Chandler when Tampa Bay gave up the #1 choice for him and then let Chandler go.
Pete Carroll's defense has been ready for the run for the Dolphins. Now they've got 3rd and a yard. Sammy Smith is in for his. Marino will throw it. Smith, first down, Dolphins at first down pass.
Well, the brakes certainly have gone against Miami so far today. This was a big play for him, and it's going to get called back.
Holding. Number 78, offense, 10 yards, repeat third down.
Big Richmond Webb, the first-round draft choice in his second year out of Texas A&M, selected to the Pro Bowl for the second time.
Well, Richmond Webb's right here. He'll get called for the hold. Here's Sammy Smith, and he's just going to go downfield and get open. A nice play. 78, you see, is holding, but look how open Sammy Smith is in the middle of that defense.
Would have been the best play of the day for the Dolphins, wiped out by the holding call on Richmond Webb. Quick toss by Marino to Clayton. Clayton fights his way forward for a first down. R.J. Coors covering Mark Clayton, who makes it Dolphin first and 10.
Well, this is the kind of situation the Jets had last week offensively. Here's the safety. He's supposed to come up and make this catch because Clayton's going to get it early because of the blitz. But the tackler misses the play. Look, you see he didn't get up there and take Clayton on properly. Clayton's able to pick up the first down.
Mark Clayton with a catch, approaching 1,000 yards receiving. Marino again has a man open. It's Farrell Edmonds. Breaks the tackle, and he is to the 32-yard line of the Jets. Kyle Clifton and downfield Scott Mercereau finally putting the clamps on 250-pound Farrell Edmonds.
Well, Farrell Edmonds lining up here, and he's just going to release and go downfield. The Jet defenders are going to go away from him and leave a big hole in the middle of the field. You see that hole? He gets behind the linebacker, and Marino delivers.
Edmonds, selected twice to the Pro Bowl the last 2 years, missed 7 games with a thigh injury this season and had only 9 receptions coming into the game. And Marino's hit his last 5 passes in a row. Duper can't hold that one. That breaks the string. James Hasty covering Mark Duper, who with that catch a few moments ago exceeded 1,000 yards in this season.
Yeah, but Hasty was all over Duper that time. The ball was behind Duper also. Had Marino had the ball in the proper place, Duper would have made the catch, even with the good coverage on him.
Sammy Smith replaces Higgs in the Dolphin backfield. There's Smith joining the huddle.
It's interesting. They used to take Smith out in passing situations. These days, they put Smith in.
Mark Duper improving his receiving yards every year. And over 1,000 for 1991. Marino with time, hits his man, complete. Mark Clayton with another catch, just short of the first down, maybe a yard or 2 short. Clifton and Brim making the stop. Approaching 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
Well, Clayton just goes down and drifts in. Nobody's even covering him, really. Look at this. There's nobody. You see the linebacker fall inside, and Clayton just picks an open spot. They forgot to look at Clayton. They were so busy watching Marino.
Mark Clayton with another tremendous season. Closing in on 1,000 yards. Has passed 500 career receptions. Marino's pass incomplete. Duper took a hit. Mark Hasty and Brian Washington sandwiched him. It'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the ball's a little high, but James Hasty is in terrific pursuit here. Dolphin fans may think he got there a little early, but check this pursuit out. Nice play. Bottom line on that one is the ball was off target. It was up and away. Duper couldn't make that catch.
And Shula on 4th and 1 has elected to go for the field goal attempt.
2 yards.
It'll be a 42-yard attempt, 41 officially. Stojanovic from 41. No good. Oh, my. Each team has missed a field goal, and the score remains Jets 7, Dolphins nothing.
In the right hands, even the most functional things can be art. So we asked a sculptor to design a new luxury sedan, the Mazda 929. And while
power of a resource essential to all. At GTE, we provide that power with telephone systems and services central to the life of a community, the well-being of families, the needs of every business, great or small. GTE Telephone Services. We give you the power to flourish in any environment. At GTE, the power is on.
For the first time ever, you can catch every punch, every stroke, and every dash of the Olympics. Because now, in addition to NBC coverage, you've got the power to choose between different Olympic events on 3 cable channels. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC for the Olympics triple cast of the 92 Summer Games and catch every moment.
I'm not an expert kicker, but if your balance isn't proper, then you're going to push or pull. Right here, Stoyanovic's left foot kind of gives way, and he's leaning way back, leaves the ball out to the right.
Stojanovic missing from 41 yards, missed earlier from 54 yards. Allegre missed one for the Jets. Freeman McNeil turns the corner and is stopped at the 29-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards before Mike Reichenbach makes the tackle. Jets have outrushed the Dolphins by 60 yards. The Domino's Pizza halftime report. The NFL Live gang will be with you at halftime to bring you all the scores and comments. O.J. Simpson will not be there in the New York studio. I can see him down on the sideline right here, getting ready for halftime from Joe Robbie Stadium. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half from Joe Robbie Stadium in the battle for the playoffs with the Jets on top.
It took all day. But they finally came up with one very big idea. What do you bet they printed on a laser jet from Hewlett-Packard?
Searching for the perfect shave? Let Norelco show you what it's like from the inside. Here, there's a system for a close, comfortable shave that exists in no other razor. Our patented lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. So to look better on the surface, remember, Norelco shaves below the surface. Norelco, we make close, comfortable.
To me, there's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. That's why Interstate's my kind of battery. Get an Interstate battery from automotive service, repair, and parts centers everywhere, and win with Interstate.
Drixoral is. Sudafed isn't. Drixoral is. Contact isn't. Drixoral is the only 12-hour cold medicine you can buy that was once a prescription and is still available in its original prescription strength. Drixoral.
The Chiefs. The Raiders. 2 wild cards in a Wild West showdown. Next.
Santa must be getting a little warm in that suit here in South Florida. 75-degree day. Nice to be in Miami for the holidays. And about this football game, a lot of people saying neither team deserves to be in the playoffs. But the coaches and the players all say this is what it's about. Don't worry about the records. We deserve it. That's what they play the season for.
Oh, I agree. There are a lot of people out there playing today that wish they had this opportunity. And I hope Santa Claus remembers my address at my house because my daughters are waiting for him.
O'Brien hands to Hector. Johnny Hector gets a yard. J.B. Brown up from the secondary to make the tackle. Here's our starter 10-minute ticker. Cleveland and Pittsburgh now tied. And here at Joe Robbie, inside the 2-minute mark, the Jets clinging to a 7-0 lead. We were asking some of the Dolphins and some of the Jets what they wanted for Christmas, and they all had the same answer. They hoped Santa would put another week of practice in their stocking. They like to be practicing on Christmas Day. O'Brien's pass, good for a first down to Rob Moore. Moore had an idea where those sticks were. He got enough for the first down, and then Vesty Jackson makes the stop. Didn't get out of bounds, though. The clock continues to roll.
I tell you, this is out of respect for Dan Marino. O'Brien is running that clock, knowing that he has his timeouts left, and there's plenty of time as long as you have some timeouts. But they don't want to give Marino any chance to get the ball back. I think the Jets should start moving it up a little bit now, though, because they realistically have a chance to get in scoring position.
O'Brien intercepted. Cliff Odom on the deflected pass. Jeff Cross hit it first, and then Cliff Odom caught it as they tried to go across the middle once too often. Joe, why would you waste all that much time keeping Marino off the field and then throw a pass over the middle?
Oh, well, they fully intended to try and score. I think Jeff Cross is the big man. I mean, there's pressure up front right there. Jeff Cross is the guy that hits the arm. Look at the receiver was wide open. Al Toon was wide open down the middle. Right there is a play by the defensive end that saved a big completion, possibly another score, and sets up his team to get a score. Jeff Cross just made a fine defensive play.
Cross hit O'Brien's arm. Reichenbach got a hand on it, and Odom had his first interception. 32 seconds left in the half. Marino wants points before halftime. Quickly unloads, and that's almost picked off for the Jets. Mike Brim, I think the pass was intended for Scott Miller. There was a knot of players right at that point, and Brim almost had the interception.
Well, I tell you, these guys just ran together down here. They just get all crossed up, and Duper never got inside for the ball because of this mix-up here. It looked like an attempted screen play, but Duper couldn't fight his way through.
Mike Brim almost had the interception. He has 4 on the season. Marino tackled by Bird, his second sack of the day. Marino even tried to pass while Bird was in the process of making the tackle, but it looked like Bird pinned his arm.
Oh, this is big. This is so important for the Jets to be able to get back there and harass Marino. Conversely, Marino knows he needs his pass protection, but Bird just does a wonderful job. I mean, he beat Mark Dennis that time. There's young Mr. Bird. Just all-out effort. He and Lagerman play so much alike. Every play is just full speed ahead. They're relentless.
Bird, in his 3rd year out of Tulsa, 2nd-round draft choice, who has started every game for the Jets this season. Back in '89, had 7 sacks, which is the most for a Jets rookie since 1977. Finally forcing Marino to tuck the ball under and get back to close to the line of scrimmage. Didn't quite make it. The ball right on the midfield stripe as the Dolphins take a timeout.
Well, the Dolphins theoretically can use 2 plays here. They have 21 seconds. Now, they don't have to pick up the first down on the first play. They could try to get it the next time. And with just 21 seconds left by the time the Jets got the ball back, if the Dolphins didn't make it, I don't think they'd have enough time to get in position to score.
6 defensive backs on for the Jets. 21 seconds left. This is a 3rd down play. Marino drills it. Pass complete to Clayton. And Mark Clayton has the first down at the 35 of the Jets as Marino stops the clock with 14 seconds left. Lonnie Young finally stopped Clayton, but Marino drilled it right in there.
Big hole in the middle of the defense. How do you let Mark Clayton run free like that? Well, folks, it's a zone, what they call a zone defense. All of the defenders go to an area. They don't pay attention to the receivers right away. And I tell you, I'd be paying attention to this guy all the time. I'd have him man-covered at least with some zone help all the time.
There's Stojanovic, who has missed 2 field goals today. The Jets leading 7-0. There are 14 seconds remaining in the first half. The Dolphins trying to get some points before intermission. It hit 14 in a row before missing first from 54 yards and then from 41. James Hasty, the cornerback of the Jets, yesterday about covering Mark Clayton. And he said one thing Clayton does is jaw at you all day. He'll be talking to you. And I asked Hasty if he ever talked back. He said, no, I don't want to waste the energy. It's hard enough staying up with Mark Clayton.
Yeah, but I like that. Clayton does it out of fun. He does it to distract the defense. Clayton's a fine ball player.
Another 1,000.
Oh, a lateral.
Jensen, wide open. Martin out of bounds. 7 seconds left. And now in field goal range.
Well, this is just going to be a lateral pass to Jensen, who's going to go across here. You'll see the ball flowing backward. You see the ball going back. Now Jensen's going to get his open receiver there. The Jets bite on it. It was a very deceptive, well-executed play for the Dolphins.
7 seconds left in the first half. 7-0 Jets. The ball at the 18-yard line of New York.
If Marino weren't your quarterback, you'd be kicking the field goal right now. But because he's in there, you're going to give it one more shot to the TV.
4 wide receivers. Marino. Touchdown. Clayton. Stoyanovich for the extra point with no time left. And the game is tied. Dan Marino hitting Mark Clayton for an 18-yard scoring pass with no time left in the half. And it's a 7-7 game, and the Jets Dolphins battle for the playoffs. Let's go to Bob Thompson.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, well, the Dolphins with virtually no running game in the first half, but Marino gets them even with literally a last-play touchdown pass to Clayton. There are guys who have thrown more touchdown passes than Marino, although soon there won't be. He'll probably go past Tarkenton. There are those who have caught more than Clayton, but no two have ever hooked up on more touchdown passes in the history of the league than that combination, Marino to Clayton.
But I'm surprised, Bob, that the Jets defense has been able to hold them to just that one score. You would think this game would be a 21-17 game at the half, 21-14 game. But it's both defenses are playing a little bit better than expected.
Clayton's the man who guaranteed victory early in the week. Did you like it when your players talked a little bit of trash like that? Did it bother you one way or the other?
I never had one guarantee it like that, but true to his word, he's doing everything he can right now. That was a great big play and a big momentum gatherer for Miami.
Okay, so they're tied up at 7, and we understand that O.J. is ready now, standing by on the sidelines at Joe Robbie Stadium. Let's get the impressions of the Juice on the first 30 minutes of play. O.J.?
Well, Bob, it was quite a contrast in emotions going into the tunnel. The Jets dominated the first half, and they were down walking up the tunnel. I was talking to a couple of the Jets coaches, and they said that they were having some success running the weak side and that Miami had made some major adjustments, so they're going to try to run the strong side, but they felt that they should have been up more than 7-0. Of course, a couple of seconds later, Miami scored, and the Miami players were really pumped going into the locker room. Blair Thomas didn't hurt his knee. He hurt his shin, and he hurt his ankles. They took x-rays. He walked in. He was trying to run on it in the tunnel. When I was talking to him, he said he didn't know if he'd be able to come out in the second half, but he's not hurt that bad. It didn't appear to be hurt that bad. He was able to walk on it, and he was trying to jog on it. That's the story here.
All right, O.J., let's check on other scores. Buffalo has a 7-0 halftime lead at home over the Lions.
Dolphins with the second half ready to begin from Joe Robbie Stadium. Aguiar to kick for the Jets. And Craver and Logan deep for the Dolphins. They didn't have to be too deep. Another short kick taken by Mark Logan. And the football loose. And that's a 30. They'll unsack them.
Well, that's why the Jets kick the ball high and short. They want people to handle the ball that don't normally handle it. But Logan's a running back. He usually handles the ball. just flat out dropped it that time, and Miami's got lucky. They got the ball back.
Craver fell on it. There's Logan fumbling the football, had a shot at it, and it'll be Craver that recovers for the Dolphins. Here are the halftime stats, the Coors Light halftime stats, Joe.
Yeah, well, the total yards, that one turnover is really what set up the score. The time of possession in the Jets' favor. Most important stat of all is the score is tied, 7-7.
And Marino striking on the final play and a half. Here's Mark Higgs bursting through a 12-yard gain. Higgs, who had gained only 2 yards with his best run of the day.
Let's go back and see this touchdown. Now, here's Mark Clayton. He's just going to go down and buy some time and get open. The fortunate thing for Dan Marino here is that he gets an open receiver because Marino doesn't want to scramble. Quarterback's supposed to look. If it's not there, throw it away and take the field goal. Well, Marino was lucky that time when he found an open receiver and turns into touchdown.
And a determined run after he caught the ball by Mark Clayton for the touchdown, 18 yards. Perhaps a momentum-swinging score just before intermission. Marino to Payne. The big guy close to midfield, gain of about 5 or 6 yards. The many ways that Dan Marino can impact the game. You said just before that play, Joe, there were 7 seconds left. They had the ball on the 18. Most teams would settle for the field goal.
Absolutely. They wouldn't take a chance on the quarterback not finding a receiver, getting sacked, or throwing interceptions. Coach Shula has tremendous respect for Dan Marino. However, Dan, again, got away with something that time, Tom, because he didn't have a receiver open and chose not to throw it away. He hung on to it. Fortunately, Clayton made the catch in a strong fight into the end zone.
Dan told us he thought he'd been very consistent this year, but he's been better in the second half, which is what Don Shula pointed out. Page goes upstairs to make the reception, and he has a Dolphin first down to the 41-yard line. Lewis and Clifton stop Tony Page, who makes another catch. He is a very dangerous weapon out of the backfield.
Well, here's Tony Page. He's going to come in motion and break under these 2 linebackers that drop back into deeper coverage. Watch how he's going to break under the linebackers where he's open right now. Turns it up for a good gainer. Good read by Dan Marino.
Reggie Roby, the Dolphins punter, has a ruptured Achilles tendon and will not return in the game today. Stoyanovich was his backup, attempted one punt, it covered 49 yards. Higgs breaking tackles to the 35. Brian Washington saved a touchdown. Higgs hit at the line of scrimmage, managed to break tackles and get a good gainer. He had been totally ineffective in the first half. 2 good runs in this third quarter.
He's 5'7". These guys in the back, Joe Kelly, 58, loses them. He cuts back nicely, and he's got such a low center of gravity, strong legs, that he doesn't give the tacklers much of a target.
19 of those yards here in the second half for the fourth-year man out of Kentucky. Talking about his strong legs, Joe, he has 5 that have to be seen to believe. They are so strong. Marino to Clayton inside the 20.
Well, the Jet defense seems to be giving up some more yardage to these Dolphins. They're not getting the pressure back on Marino as they did in the first half. Pete Carroll's got to be concerned a bit with stopping Marino at this stage. But, hey, we said, you don't shut down Marino. You've got to get pressure back there on him and keep the ball away from him. Carroll can only hope that his defense can come up with a big play.
Marino has the Jets defense rocked back on their heels on this drive. Mark Higgs again, squirting free to the 15. Gain of 4. Scott Mercereau on the tackle. What's happened to Higgs? Who talked to him at halftime?
Well, they're certainly opening some holes in there, but Higgs seems to have gotten some yards on his own. This time off the right side of the screen. Mercereau, 94, is just going to get an arm in there, or else Higgs is going to break that thing for more yardage.
And there's a hand from the fans for Higgy, as Don Shula calls him, who gets a breather as Sammy Smith comes on. Second and 7 for Miami. This is play action, and Marino has a man. The pass complete. Page is short of the first down, tackled by Kelly and Clifton, the linebackers. The Dolphins mixing up the plays on this possession after having only 2 yards rushing the first half. Inside the 20, 88% of the time they come away with points, and more often a touchdown than a field goal.
Yeah, that's just the opposite of the Jets. For example, the Jets have more field goals than touchdowns.
Opening drive of the second half. Shula's Dolphins looking for their first lead of the game. Sammy Smith in the backfield behind Marino, who has 2 wide receivers left. Gives to Smith. Sammy Smith with a determined run. He's inside the 10, then thrown back by Mark Gunn and some others on that defensive front for the Jets. Smith, you'll remember, has had 3 costly fumbles this season, but here in the red zone, they give the ball to Sammy Smith, the former Florida State All-American. And he holds on. They're going to measure for the first down.
They gave him a great mark of this football. His forward momentum is where they're marking the ball, because he was hit early, had to fight past that yard marker there, the 10-yard line, and he got a generous mark of the football.
You think that chain is still a link short? It broke earlier in the game. They had plenty, short chain or not, for that first down. Sammy Smith. They brought on some new sticks. They had a spare set.
Well, here you see Smith getting hit before he crosses the 10-yard line. Now they're holding on to him, and well, he picked up the first down, certainly. Good second effort by Sammy Smith.
3rd year out of Florida State. First-round draft choice. Now to the sideline, replaced by Mark Higgs. First and goal from the 8. Higgs. Hit and driven back. Whoa. Clifton and Young. Clifton hit him, and Young put the finishing touches on. Wow.
This is what it looks like as the running back going up in there. Check the right side of the screen. Now, where can I run? Let me see. Is there a hole? No. 31's there. And then, oh, my goodness, who's that? Some kind of Mack truck or gorilla or something done got me that time.
Well, that was Kyle Clifton.
Kyle Clifton.
Woo! Clifton has nearly 1,100 tackles in his 8-year career. And the injured man, Keith Sims of the Dolphins. We'll take a break.
Acura would like to pose the following question. Could your heart benefit from the use of another 24 valves? The Acura Legend Coupe.
Now on video for a limited time.
Hey, you're not going to believe what I got you. Hey, look, it's Fantasia. It's just for you. Well, all right, maybe not just for you. I mean, I got to tell you, it's magic. That's right. Mickey, yeah. Between you and me, this was our only chance to get it, and I didn't want you to miss it.
Walt Disney's masterpiece, Fantasia. It's the perfect holiday gift.
Well, of course I got it for you. I'm your dad. Fantasia is ours forever.
Bad news. Meek's got new shoes. He's got custom fit and support on top. Flip a switch. He's got it below, too.
It's the new Reebok double pump. Now get back up there.
The double pump. Pretty scary.
Hey, get back here, man.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By Reebok, who reminds you that life is short. Play hard. By extra-strength Tylenol gel caps. For everyday pain, nothing works better. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Second and goal from the 9. From Joe Robbie Stadium, Tom Hammond and Joe Namath with you. The injured player was Keith Sims, the left guard of the Dolphins. He's replaced by Bert Widener, second-year man out of Kent State at that left guard. Second and goal, the ball back to the 9 now. They lost a yard on that Higgs carry. Marino takes from the pocket. Hit as he lets the ball go. It'll be incomplete, and Marino goes down in the teeth of the rush. Dennis Byrd, who has been all over Marino today, and Marvin Washington pressuring Marino, making him throw it away.
I don't know why interference isn't called here. There isn't a receiver inside over there, and Marino is under the pressure of a defender. He just clearly throws the ball away to avoid a sack. Now, I know last week he got called at San Diego for intentional grounding, and that wasn't even near as bad as this one. This time, he clearly was under the pressure of an on-rushing defender and threw the ball in an area where there wasn't a receiver. That should have been an intentional grounding.
This is the 11th play of the drive. Miami didn't penetrate the Jets' 20 the first 29.5 minutes of the game. They've been inside the 20 their last two drives. Third and goal, a pass complete to the 5. Jim Jensen out of the backfield, hit by the defense, and it'll be 4th and goal. Brian Washington covering Jim Jensen.
Good defense that time. Smart move by Marino, not just putting the ball in the middle of the field where somebody could get it. Nice pass protection up front, but there aren't any receivers open, and Jensen is quickly converged on that time by Washington. There you see Jensen. He appears to be open, and he is open for a little bit, but the defense will give him that short catch, knowing that it was 3rd and goal.
23-yard field goal attempt by Stoyanovich, who is 0 for 2 today. This one could give the Dolphins their first lead of the game. Good. Stoyanovich field goal puts Miami on top. It's 10-7 Dolphins.
At Acura, we believe that a luxury sedan should appeal to a driver's appreciation of soft leather, fine wood, and beautiful stretches of asphalt. The Acura Legend sedan.
They say clothes make the man.
Yeah, no. No.
They're only half right.
No.
Canoe, men's cologne. It's one fashion that outlives the fad.
Yeah.
What do you smell?
I can't smell anything. My nose is clogged. Yeah.
For fast relief, try Dristan 12-hour nasal spray. Now smell.
It's an orange. Dristan nasal spray just works incredibly fast.
Dristan, the face of relief today.
Dolphin guard Keith Sims, who missed 4 games with a knee injury earlier this season, has banged up his left knee again, and his return questionable for the rest of the game. Dolphins covering 64 yards on 12 plays, 7.5 minutes on the clock to get the field goal from Stoyanovich. Miami with its first lead. The Dolphins at 10-7, with the winner of this one moving into the playoffs, playing next week either at Houston or at Denver, depending on the outcome of the Broncos game today. That's Johnny Hector awaiting the kick. Line drive kick. Mathis chases it down and brings it out of the end zone. Terrence Mathis finds a seam, and Mathis across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Great return by Mathis. Jim Jensen stopped him after 33 yards.
I was talking earlier about the 3rd down play that Dan Marino threw the ball out of bounds. Now here's a receiver who's going to go down in here, and Dan will throw the ball away out of bounds. There's no receiver anywhere around that thing, and he's under pressure. You can see right here's the pressure. Now, if that's not intentional grounding, I don't know what is.
There's Marino talking to the coaches upstairs. Meanwhile, the Jets come with 3 tight ends. 7:18 left in the third quarter. The Jets finally get the football. Johnny Hector. Hector with a good run. 10 yards across the 40. Cliff Odom finally makes the tackle on Johnny Hector, who's in at the running back spot now with the first half injury to Blair Thomas.
Nice hole off the left side here. Hector doesn't get touched until he gets into the secondary. Look at that hole. Oh, my goodness.
And again, we see the Dolphins' vulnerability to the running attack. Hector on the sideline with a little breather. 5 rushes, 31 yards, averaging over 6 a carry. Bryant's quick pass to Moore. Rob Moore gets to the outside. He's to the 45. Maybe the 46, a gain of 5 yards. As we check our Hertz 10-minute ticker. Atlanta within 7 of the Cowboys now, playing in the third. That Buffalo-Detroit game has been a low-scoring affair. 7-0 all afternoon. Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders.
Might be some kind of blizzard or something up there for all I know.
Don't ask. 2nd and 4 for the Jets. They trail by 3. O'Brien. The ball batted down. Incomplete pass. David Griggs was all over Ken O'Brien. He tried to unload it. I think it hit a helmet of somebody.
I'm going to tell you something. O'Brien got lucky. That would have been intentional grounding because there's not a receiver anywhere around here. You watch O'Brien's looking downfield. Good coverage there. Now he's just going to turn and dump the ball, but there's not a receiver around here. Klingbeil deflects the ball, and it goes back. Had he not deflected that ball, I believe they'd have called intentional grounding. There wasn't anyone over there.
Yeah, nothing but ineligible receivers. In fact, a couple of those linemen looked on aghast as that ball came from them. 4 wide receivers. This is the Falcon formation. O'Brien's pass caught by Mathis. Mathis to the 25 of the Dolphins. Chris Green caught him from behind. Again, the Jets go across the middle for a clutch pass to Mathis, 27 yards.
Terrence Mathis just comes burning out of here and breaks in the middle. It's the pass protection afforded to O'Brien that gets Mathis open in the middle. There he is, cutting across. Nice catch, and then it's boy, he's trying. Watch how the ball is nearly knocked out of his hands there. Number 42, Chris Green, tried to jar that ball loose, but Mathis held it.
They named that one the Dock play in honor of Dale Dawkins, the wide receiver who was involved in an automobile accident last weekend after they lost to the New England Patriots. He broke his leg. His career is threatened by the serious injury he suffered. And so they had a couple of plays today. They named the Dock in honor of Dale Dawkins. Coach Costas said be sure and mention that and say hello to him back in New York watching the game. The Dock play works to Terrence Mathis across the middle for a clutch Jet first down. Larry Cirillo, our producer, tells us that Thurman Thomas is not playing for Buffalo, being rested by Marv Levy in that game against the Lions in Orchard Park. Here's a play-action pass, and O'Brien with plenty of time. Now decides to run and is caught from behind by Chuck Klingbeil.
And that is just good defense. Good defense in that secondary. O'Brien has plenty of time to come to a receiver. Look at this. But he doesn't have a receiver. There's guys that are all covered downfield. Boy, you got to credit that Miami secondary for doing a job. Anytime a quarterback has that much time, he's supposed to find a receiver, but he was covered. There's Klingbeil.
He played with Saskatchewan in the Canadian Football League and was the defensive most valuable player in their championship game, the Grey Cup. Draw play to McNeil. Freeman McNeil inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Lewis Oliver stops him there and prevents McNeil from reaching the first down marker. And so now Raul Alegre is on to try to tie the game.
McNeil has a hole up here early, but it closes quickly. See, Harden 45 gets in there, then Lewis Oliver, one of the best strong safeties in the league gets in there. Safety anyway, free safety, strong safety. He's so big, I think he's strong.
Allegre from 35 to tie. Low kick, but good. Raul Allegre signed this week. Pat Leahy injured, unable to go. And there is a penalty marker down. Allegre says it's against the Dolphins. It is a hold against Miami. That's an automatic first down.
Do you take the points off the board?
Whoa, what a decision here with everything riding on it.
It's easy. Take the points off the board. Take the first down. Go down there and try and score a touchdown. That's all.
That was why you were a gunslinger when you were the quarterback.
Well, I know they're going to take the points off the board here. Gee whiz.
That's Costas Scott O'Brien heading back to the field. That'll be his decision.
Holding. Number 54, defense. He pulled a man so a man could shoot the gap. Penalty accepted, 5 yards, automatic first down.
The veteran E.J. Jr. with a critical, perhaps, penalty, giving the Jets an automatic first down. And they will take the 3 points, the tying 3 points off the scoreboard and try to score the touchdown. You know, that Allegre kick didn't look too good either. I don't know if I want to have to make him try one again.
You know he's got to be nervous. I know he's been through the wars. I know he was in the Super Bowl, and I know he can come through in the clutch, but, man, this team's counting on you. You're new on the team. You don't even know the players. You know all of them are looking at you. You've got to be nervous.
First down, Jets from the 13 of Miami. New York trailing by 3. And now the Jets having trouble hearing the snap count. Play action. O'Brien for the end zone. Out of it and incomplete. Intended for McNeil. David Griggs putting the pressure on O'Brien and took him down after he let the ball go.
Well, I'll tell you, this was good defense. Earlier in the game, the Jets were able to sneak a running back over the middle when the ball was overthrown to Hector. This time, the defenders are going to stay in there, and O'Brien just simply throws the ball away because there is no one open.
Now the fans trying to do their part. Second down. McNeil finds an opening. He's inside the 5 and to the 2-yard line. The veteran Freeman McNeil bursting through a seam in the defense. Finally stopped by J.B. Brown. And Al Toon again with a big block helping to spring McNeil.
I tell you, that block that I guess it was tuned through, that was a tremendous block on the safety that time. Gee whiz, he just cut down the defender and opened a huge hole for McNeil, but let's find out what this penalty's about. Bringing Oliver to the sideline. This could be awful bad for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, he is unhappy about something. Is he ejected from the game? Or maybe he has an equipment problem? Gordon McCarter hopefully will tell us momentarily. They don't want him out of the game. He's their leading tackler. Oliver still upset, explaining the situation to Don Shula. And no explanation from Gordon McCarter. We don't have any idea, folks, what happened, but the Dolphins' leading tackler on the sideline as the Jets have it first and goal from the 2. Baxter upended. He's to the 1-yard line. Cliff Odom got underneath Baxter, flipped him over to the 1.
And I'll tell you what it was. Oliver's going back in the game, Tom. He must have been hurt. He was shaken up the last play, and he had to leave the playing field for one play before he could go back in. They did stop the clock because he laid on the ground so long.
So it was either that or they had to take a timeout. They sent him out for one play. He was injured on the block by Al Toon. Took too much time, was out of the game, but now back. Oliver back on the field. Baxter, touchdown. Brad Baxter Baxter with his second touchdown run of the game, and the 11th rushing touchdown he has this season, tops in the AFC. The Jets take 3 off the scoreboard and get the touchdown.
Just a huge hole. Baxter's not hit until he's about at the 1-yard line and just falls into the end zone. Fine blocking up there by Dave Cadigan and Jeff Criswell on the left side of the Jets' offensive line.
Well, what Baxter say? He wanted 4 touchdowns today. He's halfway there. Allegre for the extra point. This will look good. Best kick today by Raul Allegre through the uprights, and the Jets pass on the field goal, get the touchdown to lead 14-10.
I made it home last night, finally, after an hour on the freeway. The light bulb blew. Okay, get up on the ladder. And while I'm up there, the phone rings. I gotta come back down the ladder. This guy's promising me big savings if I leave AT&T. No way. Big savings. So I tell him, listen, I'm not paying a lot now. With AT&T, I don't have to question. I don't have to worry about my long distance. Give me a break. It's just not AT&T.
It's a fast-paced, get-in, get-out, gotta-go world we live in. So, why not sit back and enjoy the ride in a luxury performance car designed to keep up with it? The 5-cylinder, 20-valve Acura Vigor.
Christmas Day, it's a battle for L.A. as James Worthy and the Western Conference champion Lakers meet their crosstown rivals Danny Manning and the Clippers. Then, Christmas night, the battle we've all been waiting for as Michael Jordan and the world champion Bulls take on Larry Bird and the Celtics. A special Christmas Day presentation of the NBA on NBC.
Football's a game of tremendous collisions. Here's Freeman McNeil, and here's Mike Reichenbach. He's going to come clean. McNeil is going to bury him, and Baxter's going to find his way into the end zone. Oh, look at that collision. Freeman McNeil, 11 years, Tom, he just keeps getting better.
There's the key block there. Here's Aguiar's kick taken by Craver. And Craver is back to the 37-yard line, where the Dolphins will take over, now trailing by 4. Bobby Houston made the special teams tackle. The Jets, with the aid of a holding penalty against the Dolphins, automatic first down, cover 69 yards to take a 4-point lead as Baxter has his 11th rushing TD.
On the third Sunday in August, this place turns from a hard-working ranch town into a hard-riding rodeo town. And folks like us take it on the chin, in our backs, and about everywhere else. That's why most of us here rely on Tylenol. With all the choices Doc Hall has, he gives us the same thing he takes himself.
From small-town doctors to big city hospitals, Tylenol's the pain reliever America counts on. It's the one hospitals use most.
This Christmas, Tandy computers, some of the best-selling PC compatibles in America, are on sale at Radio Shack. 4 complete systems with color monitors start at just $599.90. All come with 24 unique home organizer programs. The more powerful RLX system is the perfect home office machine. And with hard drive, it's just $1199.95. The Tandy 1000 family of computers. So easy to use, we guarantee success.
Radio Shack, America's technology store.
This is no night for weak batteries.
Got enough energy to pull us through, Rudolph?
That's why you should test all your batteries with the Copper Top Tester. A little present. Only from Duracell.
Personnel, please. 7th floor.
Now, when life turns up the heat, there's Degree antiperspirant. Because it's body heat activated, Degree turns on extra protection when you really need it. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
The underdog Jets in the battle for the playoffs, leading the Dolphins by 4 points, nearing the end of the third quarter. And the Dolphins take over the football now. In their first drive of this half, they had a pretty good mix between run and pass. Had no success running first half, but they did on that last drive. Are they going to try to mix them up again, or is it time for Marino to work his magic?
Well, I'm sure they'd love to try to mix them up, but realistically, Marino's got to throw the football. I don't think the running game of the Dolphins really scares the Jets, and Marino's got to go to the air on first down.
He will. And it's good for a first down. Catch made by Mark Clayton just beyond the first down marker. Mike Brim forced Clayton out of bounds. Here's the Hurts 10-minute ticker. Again, Thurman Thomas battling with Barry Sanders. Thomas not playing. Two of the best rushers in the league, so the battle between the statistical battle between the two, a moot point today because Thomas on the sideline.
Yeah, a lot of those guys don't have those paychecks coming where if they get so many yards or if they win a battle, and I don't know that Thurman Thomas has that opportunity, incentive clauses, but I'm sure he'd like to be playing today.
Yeah, he'd already said during the week he wanted to battle Barry Sanders head-to-head, best rusher in the NFL. Mark Higgs with a first down carry, thrown back after a gain of a couple by Dennis Byrd. Well, that's a whale of a view, isn't it? The airship Shamu from SeaWorld is here today, giving us those shots high above Joe Robbie Stadium. This is one of the few times, I guess the first time, that the blackout has been lifted for a regular season Sunday afternoon game in Miami.
Hey, I like Santa's little helper there. Yeah, that was a change of pace.
Somehow I knew you would spot that. We were talking about the airship and about the blackout. Sammy Smith is in the backfield here on second and long. Marino standing in a crowd, lets it go. Was it caught? No, incomplete. Intended for Tony Page.
It's the pressure the Jets are getting back there on Marino. Mo Lewis got back there that time. The linebacker, they're forcing Marino to throw when he doesn't want to throw. From the left side of the screen, there's going to be some pressure coming in. Right there, you see that? Marino had to throw a little early. Had that ball been on the other side, Kyle Clifton was in good shape for an interception.
You know, yesterday, Bruce Cosler, Joe, told us that how the Jets, this young Jets team, performed today, win or lose, was very important for his program. He wanted to find guys that could perform under playoff pressure. Well, they saw the Dolphins score in the last play of the first half, take the lead on the first series of the third, and yet they've come back. Duper with a diving catch and a Dolphin first down at the 37-yard line.
All right here, the Jets are going to get blocked. They're going to run a game in here. Duper will come down and run a square in. What I like is the pass protection up front. Look at that wall, keeping the defenders away from Marino.
And the third quarter comes to an end. Which team moves on to the playoffs? The fourth quarter after these words from your local station.
Tonight, NBC makes your holiday special with the return of a family classic.
So Christmas, I never forget.
Olivia Newton-John is a mom for Christmas. NBC tonight.
Bad news. Meek's got new shoes. He's got custom fit and support on top. Flip a switch. He's got it below, too.
It's the new Reebok double pump. Now get back up there. Hey!
The double pump. Pretty scary, huh?
Hey, get back here, man.
If you're pregnant, see your doctor or county health clinic and learn why the secret to a happy birthday begins long before your child is born. A message for KidSafe, brought to you by Scottish Rite Children's Medical Center.
The ground commander said, go ahead and take them out.
Almost one-fourth of American casualties in the Gulf War were caused by Americans.
We think he was a hot dog pilot that was bragging that he was going to get the first kill. I'm very sorry.
The Pentagon calls it friendly fire.
We lost a son.
Why were friendly fire casualties 10 times more common in the Gulf than in any previous war? Now it can be told. Monday at 5:30, followed by 11 Alive News at 6 with John Pruitt and Terry Merriman.
The Freedom Bowl, Monday, December 30th at 9 p.m. on 11 Alive. Well, some valuable toes on the Jets bench. Pat Leahy in the center, inactive for this game. The oldest player in the NFL, 40 years old. On his right, Aguiar, and on his left, the new assignee, Allegre. Marino under pressure. And ripped down. Another Jet sack for Dennis Byrd, with his friend Jeff Loggeman coming in there as well. Mo Lewis was circling around, putting pressure on. Dennis Byrd and Jeff Loggeman got through.
Well, we mentioned earlier Keith Sims has been injured. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with the pass protection breakdown, but Burt Widener is in there at left guard trying to help Marino out. Marino just had nowhere to go because that pressure starting with Washington from the outside was just too much, and Dan nearly got the lateral off to one of his linemen there.
Loggeman put the finishing touches on him after Byrd had a hold of his jersey to spin him around. Marino, this time, short hops his intended receiver, Mark Clayton, and paid the price as Joe Kelly put him flat on his back.
Well, that's what happened. Joe Kelly got back there and hit Dan as he's throwing the ball. Marino had the open receiver downfield, but Kelly got back there late. Oh, my, there's another injured lineman for the Dolphins.
Jeff Uhlenhake, the starting center.
Let's see if we can tell what happened. Well, we lose 63 there, but you see Marino gets hit just, and there's Uhlenhake on the bottom of the pile there, but Marino got hit by Kelly just as he was releasing the ball.
Jeff Dellenbach is the backup center. He is back up at the guard and tackle spots as well. Dellenbach, what about this first exchange between a new center and quarterback?
Well, it's going to be shotgun, but right now I'd have the defensive line running some kind of stunt to test Dellenbach and the left guard.
Snapping it in the shotgun. Perfect snap. Marino's pass. Caught. It'll be marked close to the first down as the catch was made, and Marino again feeling the Jet pressure.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be close to the first down, but from the looks of that mark, he may not have it. Marino, look at the center of the line, 65 and 60. You see they're bringing people right up through the gaps there. Marino gets the ball off. Now look where he catches it. Boom. Now we're going to watch and see where they mark it.
Tony Martin, here is Dollenbach's snap. It was perfect.
And it is a first down.
His block wasn't quite as good as the snap. Washington got through, but just a little late.
It's a lot easier to make a snap than it is to make a block.
First down, Dolphins. First down, pass Marino finds its target. Mark Duper fighting his way for yardage inside the Jet 20-yard line. Spun out of bounds by James Hasty.
Well, we're going to get a face mask penalty probably. I saw a couple of late flags come in there, but this Duper has had one fine year.
He and Clayton have passed the 1,000-yard receiving mark.
Face mask. Number 40 defense. 5 yards from the dead ball spot. The penalty will make it a first down.
That wasn't the face mask penalty, and this is right here. Now, he only gets 5 yards on this one. I tell you, it's a judgment call. If you don't let go of that face mask right away, they usually tack on 15. But that wasn't such a vicious face mask penalty, I guess.
James Hasty called for the face mask. So the Jets get the touchdown to take the lead. The Dolphins trying to answer and reclaim the advantage. Marino has it. First down at the 14 of New York. Higgs, nothing.
They're wasting time with that run. I'm telling you, they're wasting time. Every first down run they've had this half, except for the first one, has been a failure.
Brim mixing it up with Duper. Like one of those fight referees breaking up a clinch.
Well, take a look at the two of them here. You see they're just doing a little bit of pushing and shoving in here, and neither one of them wants to let go. Bren's just holding Duper up, but Duper said, hey, man, lighten up a little bit. I'm the veteran. I've been around here longer than you have, buddy.
Chicken fighting, a coach's call that, I think. Meanwhile, Mercereau and Loggeman nearly bent Higgs in two. Sammy Smith is in for Higgs on 2nd and 12. Marino lost the ball and got it back, and then throws incomplete. The juggling act by the magician Dan Marino saved disaster.
That was a nice catch Dan Marino made there. And then he tried to get the ball off and pass it a second time. Washington knocked the ball loose from his hands, and Marino thought he saw a receiver and got rid of it. What's 97? Right there in the center of your screen in the three-point stance. He's going to run around the block and then reach over and jar the ball loose right there. Nice catch, Dan. I don't know where he was throwing it, though.
It's 3rd and 12 for the Dolphins from the 16-yard line of the Jets. And Miami calls a timeout. 12-16 left in the game. Miami trying to get some points.
It's wintertime at your Chevy Geo dealer. A great time to get big deals on Chevrolets.
$1,000 cash back.
Hey, that's worth more than my baseball card. During wintertime, you can get cash back or low wintertime financing with no payments for 90 days on Chevy. With deals like these, anybody can be a winner.
Dad, it's not easy.
Hey, kid, you want an autograph?
No, thanks.
Are you kidding? Sure you can have two. Great gift. See your Chevy Geo dealer today.
When you play the game and you're looking good, there's a fun light way and it's understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. Clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. There's everything else. It's just a light, just a light, Bud Light. Just a light, just a light. Everything else, just a light.
This holiday, MasterCard helps you give the people on your list their favorite things with the Master Values program. Save 10 to 25% on specially featured merchandise when you use MasterCard for Mattel toys at Toys R Us. Top-selling books at B. Dalton Bookseller and fine jewelry and more at Service Merchandise. Look for Master Values at these and other fine stores, only from MasterCard. Think of it as our holiday gift to you.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. By Braun Electric Shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved. By Head & Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
From Joe Robbie Stadium, Tom Hammond and Joe Namath with producer Larry Cirillo, director Peter Bleckner. The Dolphins with a 3rd and 12 from the 16 of the Jets, trailing 14-10. Marino this time shoots it over the head of his intended receiver and incomplete, intended for Tony Martin. Starza was covering, and Marino again goes down. You know, the Dolphins now are playing without two starting offensive linemen. Jeff Uhlenhake and Keith Sims have left with injuries and will not return.
And well, Bird gets around the right tackle that time and is able to get in there and disrupt the pass, but the receiver was open just a hair. I think that Dennis Bird just did a good job of getting back there and hurrying Marino.
Bird is having a tremendous game from his defensive line spot. Stoyanovich will attempt the field goal, 34 yards. And it's good. Pete Stoyanovich, officially from 33, pulls the Dolphins within one, 14-13, 12:06 left in this playoff deciding game. Coslett trying to hold on.
hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright.
Chevy owners get all the breaks.
My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right. Like a rock.
Every 92 Chevy pickup, Astro, Suburban, and Blazer gives you anti-lock brakes standard. Chevrolet. The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
Oh, like a rock.
You know, if you pay as much attention to your jump shot as you do trying to impress women. Oh, it's just this new shampoo. My hair comes out looking really good. Shampoo. Yeah, it's got a conditioner in it, right in the bottle. Talked about this before. What? Look, all the conditioner in the world doesn't mean a thing. I mean, it's your dandruff shows up. Ah, you're not paranoid one.
For the first time ever, the world's leading dandruff shampoo comes complete with full-body conditioners. Introducing Head & Shoulders 2-in-1, making all your first impressions all the more impressive.
At Braun, we believe even if you're not at your best in the morning, at least you can look like you are. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
Pete Stoyanovich with a 33-yard field goal, pulling the Dolphins to within 1 and giving him 120 points this season, breaking the Dolphin record, formerly held by Garo Yepremian. Record had stood since 1971.
I still remember that pass old Garo threw in the Super Bowl that was picked off by the Redskins. Garo made that an exciting game that second half.
Mathis and Hector are deep, awaiting the kick by Stoyanovich. Mathis from the 2. Mathis shakes one tackler and then is driven out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Jets will take over there. Iaquinello gets credit for running him out of bounds. Here's our Budweiser 10-minute ticker. Detroit and Buffalo tied up. Frank Reich at quarterback for the Bills, so Jim Kelly getting a rest as well. Atlanta and Dallas, Chris Miller with a 43-yard pass to Haynes for the go-ahead Atlanta touchdown on that one. That's been a seesaw battle. Cowboys build a big lead. Falcons have come back as they have many times in this surprising season. Tampa Bay is taking control of that game against Indianapolis. Jets lead by a point. First down on their own 18. O'Brien almost threw an interception in the face of the rush intended for Hector. Let's check in with Bob Costas for an update.
Okay, Tom, an item here from the NBA and the police blotter. The 76ers' Charles Barkley was arrested following an altercation in which he allegedly broke a man's nose early this morning in Milwaukee. The incident is said to have taken place at 2:30 a.m., several hours after the Sixers lost to the Bucks. Barkley was arrested at his hotel at about 7 this morning. He made bail of $500. It's expected he'll be charged with battery. Back down to Miami.
All right, Bob. Here's the crowd trying to make its presence known now. The Jets have come with that 3 tight end formation, 2nd and 10, and they give it to Hector. Hector picks his way forward across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Cliff Odom on the tackle. Hope you'll stay tuned for the second game of our doubleheader. Most of you will see Kansas City take on the Raiders. That is a playoff preview. And some will see the Denver Broncos against the San Diego Chargers. Denver trying to get that first-round bye in the playoffs. Those are the games coming up next here on NBC. 4 wide receiver Falcon formation for the New York Jets. It's 3rd and 6. O'Brien, sack. Jeff Cross with a big defensive play. Sacks Ken O'Brien. And the Jets must punt from their own end zone. Aguiar will punt from his end zone. Aguiar does not get a good punt. Scott Miller just watches it take a backwards bounce all the way to the 30-yard line. Aguiar with a poor punt after the O'Brien sack, and the Jets are in hot water. Cross made the play, only a 22-yard punt.
Well, I think you can tell by Aguiar's reaction what kind of punt he's gotten off here. Looking and walking dead to the sidelines. He knows it didn't go far. Oh, boy, yeah, you blundered, buddy.
And once again, the New York Jets seem on the verge of self-destruction. Jeff Uhlenhake back on the field at center. We were told he probably would not return, but twisted knee and all, he's back out there. Higgs barely got the handoff from Marino, who was hit just as he tried to get it to Higgs. And a flag comes flying in late as Higgs somehow worked his way forward for 5 yards.
Well, I don't even know how he got the handoff that time. The penetration was so quick by the Jets. Going to have a penalty go against the Jets here. I don't know what it's for yet. He hasn't told us.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty. The penalty leaves the ball short of a first down. Repeat second down.
Well, look at this penetration, first of all. I tell you, Marino just got that ball off. Very fortunate. Higgs did a fine job of holding on to the ball. There's the face mask right there called on Grimm.
Grimm was the 5-yard face mask call. Paul Fraze is the man that nearly hit Marino before he could hand the ball off. Higgs again. And the first down is close to the 15. Kyle Clifton tackles him.
Well, you know, so far, Marino's not been very successful throwing the ball inside the 20-yard line. I think he's only completed about 2 of 5 for 7 yards, so that may be why they'd like to try to run the ball in here, but I just can't see the Dolphins getting to the end zone on the ground.
2 straight carries by Higgs, and they have a first down at the 16 of the Jets. Higgs again. Tips to the outside. Higgs to the 6-yard line. Tripped up by Mike Grimm, and little Mark Higgs carrying the offense now for the Miami Dolphins.
He's getting some help from up front, the right side of the screen. There's the blocking. Mark Dennis, 74, just turned in the defender, and Kyle Clifton couldn't tackle Higgs. Clifton had a pretty clean shot at Higgs, but Higgs is so quick and low to the ground, he's a small target.
Just 34 yards, but some key runs in the second half after being stopped for only 2 yards in the first half of play.
Nearly gave the game up, huh? Tom told us yesterday he thought about retiring.
That if things hadn't worked out this year, that he was going to quit football, go to live in Dallas. But things did work out. Sammy Smith was injured, so Higgs got the chance to start and ripped off 3 100-yard rushing games this season. Was benched again when Smith returned. Said it was a tough time mentally, but never gave up. He's always been the underdog at 5'7", and got his chance once again and has now approached 900 yards rushing. About a foot to go for the first down. Marino's going to pass for the end zone and intercepted. Kelly had it. Did he have control? Yes. Jet ball. Duper was the intended receiver, and Joe Kelly, with his second interception of the season, makes a terrific, perhaps, playoff-saving play.
All right, there's Kelly on the bottom right of your screen, right in here. He's just going to fall into this gap and take the ball away. I don't know. I guess Marino didn't see Kelly step in there, but good play by Joe Kelly. There again, here's Kelly lined up, and he just falls right out into the flat in the throwing lane that Marino has chosen, trying to get the ball to the outside. Look at this. Oh, my, nice play by Kelly, and one that Marino normally doesn't make. Look at that. It looks like Kelly's the intended receiver.
Dan Marino with his unlucky 13th interception of the season, matching his uniform number. It could cost the Dolphins a chance to playoffs. Now, we've gone the entire game without an instant replay or review. But perhaps they'll take a look.
The play stands as ruled. First down.
I'll tell you what else we've done in this game. We've seen one of the better played games gone. Penalties haven't been a factor. I'm talking about the offside penalties, the in-motion penalties, the holding penalties. Both of these teams are playing a well of the game.
Marino's interception cost the Dolphins what would appear to be a sure scoring opportunity. Here's Duffy now, an interior lineman lined up at a tight end spot for the Jets on first down. The pass by O'Brien, only good for a yard or two to Rob Moore. Meanwhile, the clock continues to tick. The winner moves to the playoffs. Last time the Jets had the ball, a big sack of O'Brien, a poor punt by Aguiar, had appeared to set up the Dolphins for the go-ahead score. Miami's wasted a timeout, so 2 remaining. The Jets with their full complement. Now the Jets, as they have many times today, come with 3 tight ends. 2nd and 8. Johnny Hector. J.B. Brown catches up to bump him out of bounds, but Johnny Hector in his 9th year out of Texas A&M pressed into service with the injury of Blair Thomas, rambles for 47 yards.
That big rushing play that haunted Coach Shula's team last week when Bernstein took it 63 yards. Here's Johnny Hector bursting through the hole on the left side. He's going to cut back into that hole. And now there's no one left except a foot race right now between Hector and Harden. Well, J.B., he knocked him out of bounds. Johnny Hector, what a run.
Second longest run of Hector's career. Could be the biggest of his career. Now the Jets with some field position, and O'Brien, with the play clock running down, takes his first time out of the second half. Boy, how the fortunes have flip-flopped for Coach Bruce Coslin and his Jets. Seemingly about to fall behind, now moving on the Dolphins.
Why not have one for the road? Someone is counting on you. It could be your year for Lotto. You haven't seen Europe yet. In fact, you never know what's around the corner. If you need a better answer, you don't understand the question. A message from Bud Grimes.
Who killed the president?
Oh, man.
Richard Corliss, Time magazine, calls JFK a knockout, electrifying, breathless, enthralling, sensational, terrific. David Anson Newsweek calls it stunning, powerful, remarkable. It holds the audience wrapped in its grip. Kevin Costner in an Oliver Stone film.
Let justice be done on the heavens fall.
JFK, rated R, now playing at a theater near you.
The performance of a Chevrolet is determined by many factors. We consider volumetric efficiency, coefficient of drag, yaw damping, polar moments of inertia, induction velocity, camber, caster, bounce, rebound, thermodynamic load, slip angles, linkage arrangements. And at Chevrolet, we also take into account the EHA factor.
The cars more people depend on.
There's a cologne that preferred men prefer.
Preferred stock cologne from the House of Stetson. Smooth and extra special.
Preferred stock cologne. What preferred men prefer.
These 3 guys right here, Irv Eatman, Pat Kelly, and Chris Dressel, watch them. Watch how they open that hole. All 3 of them get a block. Right now, there's Kelly taking out the last man, 82.
So the Jets' ground game much better with Hector and McNeil in the backfield, replacing the injured Blair Thomas. Thomas has been a big question mark, has been disappointing. Bruce Coslett even admitted he was disappointed in his performance. And Hector now going back on the field after that carry by Brad Baxter. So Blair Thomas could be the man left out if the Jets succeed without him. Bruce Coslett said to us yesterday he has yet to prove he can consistently get the job done. Thomas injured in the first half here, sidelined for the rest of the game, and the Jet running attack has been productive without him. Hector dancing his way free, cuts to the outside, Hector to the 25-yard line. Bobby Harden makes a saving tackle. 13 yards by Johnny Hector.
Yes, Hector just cuts back against the pursuit. Odom 93 gets inside, and Hector gets back outside behind the blocking of backs. Now watch how he stays in bounds here. He tries to cut it back, stays in bounds, and keeps that clock ticking. There are 16 minutes. 16 minutes, huh? There are 6 minutes and 13 seconds left, as you can see, and the Jets want to keep the ball and score as well, of course. Sure.
Hector catching his breath on the sideline. Freeman McNeil is in and gets the handoff. McNeil with a block by Baxter. Pounds his way close to a first down. And the clock continues to roll. Reichenbach makes the tackle as Coslett has the ground troops running despite the absence of Blair Thomas.
Well, at the beginning, we mentioned the inability of the Dolphin ground defense to stop the rushing of the Jets. The Jets gained 203 yards in the first game. The Dolphins have to show the Jets they can stop the running attack, and I don't know a more critical time for Coach Shula and his Dolphins. And right now, they have got to stuff the Jets. And there's Oliver, Louis Oliver, limping off the field.
Louis Oliver shaken up for the second time in the game. Leading tackler, leading interceptor for the Miami Dolphins. Replaced by the rookie from Michigan State, Mike Iaquinello.
Well, you know, after these last couple of running plays by the Jets, I would think the Dolphins and everyone watching this game expects Bruce Coslett right now to run the ball again. This would be an ideal time for a play-action pass, in my opinion. They're not looking for pass. He's been so successful with the run. I got to believe Miami's going to play the run. Play action could be good.
Even though they played the run, though, they still haven't been able to stop it. McNeil spun down after a short gain, a yard or so. T.J. Turner got around the ankles of Freeman McNeil, and you see the disappointment expressed by McNeil. Johnny Hector has carried 13 times for 98 yards. Freeman McNeil 7 times, 36 yards. Brad Baxter 10 times, only 2 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
You know, Thomas was averaging 5 yards a carry, you know, when he went out of the game. 3 carries for 15 yards. That's not a bad average.
Second down, 9 from the Dolphin 12. 4.5 minutes left, and the Jets leading by 1. Baxter. Brad Baxter's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line of Miami, and the clock still ticks.
Tackled by David Briggs.
Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, trying to figure out some kind of plan here. Louis Oliver's going back in the game along with his nickel or dime defense. They expect the Jets to go to the air on 3rd down and 5.
And they have their Falcon formation. That's 4 wide receivers: Moore, Mathis, Kuhn, and Burkett. O'Brien's in the shotgun. Almost intercepted. Al Toon, the intended receiver, but the pass squarely into the hands of a Miami defender, Chris Green.
Well, I think the Jets got away with something here. Look at this coverage. Well, I don't know. The Toon shouldn't have caught that ball. That looked like a good pass there.
Green and Iaquinello both had a chance at it, so Allegre on 4th down to attempt the field goal. 26 yards. And Allegre's kick is good. Perfectly through the uprights. Allegre has gotten better as the day is worn on.
Perfectly after the first bounce. I like the way it hit that left upright and then went right through dead center. Sure, a bank shot, folks. What's the upright on the right side of the screen? Check out this bank shot. Boop.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt.
Leahy.
Sure, we'll take it. That's what Pat Leahy says.
Well, Allegre can smile about it now. So close to sailing wide.
Plenty of time left on the clock. 3:42 for Dan Marino to be able to mount a scoring drive. But you have to remember, they need 4 points to tie, and they're not going to get 4 points. So they've got to score a touchdown on this drive.
Craver and Logan will await the kick as Marino pacing like a caged beast on the sideline, anxious to get back under center.
Marino wants to atone for that last interception.
After that interception, the Jets took it 83 yards for the field goal. 3:42 left in the game. Aguiar again kicks it high and short. That's done on purpose with Craver running over his own man to the 30-yard line. Eric McMillan on the special teams tackle. Detroit keeping those division hopes alive, championship hopes. Now leading as we look at our Budweiser 10-minute ticker. Dallas got an Emmitt Smith 6-yard touchdown run to regain the lead in that battle against Atlanta. And coming up, Kansas City and the Raiders or Denver against the Chargers. The winner of this game moves on to play either Denver or Houston next week. Greg Beatty into the tight end for the Dolphins. They have a first down at their own 31-yard line. Jets leading 17-14. 17-13. Sammy Smith out of the backfield makes a short reception, a gain of 4. Lewis and Clifton on the stop. No huddle offense by Marino. Trails by 4, 17-13. Plenty of time. Almost intercepted again. James Hasty made a break on the football and almost had the interception and the touchdown.
Well, I tell you, right up here, he's going to make a little swing-in move, and Hasty cuts in front of that ball. I mean, he's not open at the beginning. You see, Marino wants to get it to him, Now he swings outside, and Hasty nearly closes on this thing fast enough to take it the distance.
Eric McMillan had an 83-yard interception for a touchdown in the first meeting between these teams this year. Third down, 4 wide receivers for the Dolphins. And that pass complete to Duper. Mark Duper makes a clutch reception east of the 45 and a Dolphin first down. Eric McMillan made the tackle. Two timeouts left for the Dolphins. Under the 3-minute mark. Up on the line again, ready to go. Jensen is in there with 4 wide receivers. Marino's pass underneath to Jensen. He falls forward to the 45 of the Jets, close to a first down. Tripped up by Brian Washington.
Plenty of time left on the clock for these Dolphins. They got all the time they need to get down there to score the touchdown. There's no hurry, provided they keep with this 2-minute or hurry-up offense. I hate to use that word, hurry-up offense. You know,
pass complete to Duper. Does a little dance on the sideline and breaks free. Duper to the 20.
Duper just fights off Mike Grimm right here, stiff arms him and gets outside and adds another 10, 15 yards to the play before McMillan knocks him out of bounds. Nice stiff arm by Mark Duper.
Play covered 27 yards, and the Dolphins with a first down at the 19 of the Jets. Just 1 second left before the clock stops on the 2-minute warning, so this play will go. Marino for the end zone and incomplete. Lonnie Young covering the intended receiver, Scott Miller. 2 minutes left to decide the playoffs.
When you're the best, you can take a few knocks.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
With the best rust protection, Chevy full-size is America's best-selling truck. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock.
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last. Now it's easier to own a Chevy truck.
It took all day, but they finally came up with one very big idea. What do you bet they printed on a laser jet from Hewlett-Packard?
I choose isotoner gloves. Whoa, did I forget anyone? Catch this. So you take care of the hands. Take care of you.
The Chiefs. The Raiders. 2 wild cards in a Wild West showdown. Next.
Bill Steeper piloting the airship Shamu 1,000 feet above Joe Robbie Stadium. And the Dolphins over their seasonal average in the passing game today. Airship Shamu, and timeouts left. The Dolphins have 2, so do the Jets. That's the time left. Marino's Dolphins trailing by 4 points. 2nd and 10 from the Jet 19. Marino lost it for Duper, who got tangled up in a flag. Mike Grimm and Mark Duper tangled up as the ball sailed over their heads.
And the ball did sail way over their heads. I don't know whether they're going to call Grimm or...
Pass interference, number 43 defense, automatic first down.
Well, that's the call. It's going to be Dolphins first down, no matter how much arguing the guys want to do. Get back and play some ball. You folks take a look at this now. Here's Grimm on Duper. Now the ball is thrown, and it's,
is it catchable?
It's pass interference. I couldn't see where the ball was, so it's pass interference. Let's just get it on with. Forget about that play. It's history.
6 penalties, 39 yards against the Jets. That one puts the ball inside the New York 10-yard line, where they have a first down. First down, Dolphins. Jets lead 17-13. Marino runs. He's got a clear lane and then dives down to the 4. Second down from the 4-yard line. Marino drills it incomplete. I think it's short hop Duper. Yes, incomplete pass. Mike Grimm with close coverage on Mark Duper. Stops the clock at 1:05. It'll be 3rd and goal from the Jet 4.
It doesn't get any tighter than this, folks. Somebody goes home, somebody goes to the playoffs. Oh, me, is this tight.
Pete Carroll trying to rally his defenders just 4 yards away from their own goal. Meanwhile, Clayton and the other Dolphins. Marino inside the 20 has not had a good day. Last time he was in this position, he threw an interception. Marino caught inside the 1. Duper had to go into the end zone, then come back out to make the catch.
I agree. I don't think the ball broke the plane, and neither does the side judge. So Marino will take a timeout here on 4th down and 1 yard to go. Watch the ball. It's never over the plane. He does not have control of the ball. It must have control of the ball and then break the plane.
It'll be 4th and goal from the Jet 1 yard line. The playoffs coming down to perhaps this play with 48 seconds left.
Take one more look at this. You have to have control of the ball and break the plane. That's all you need to do is break the plane. I think it was a good call by that side judge right there. At least it sets up a dramatic 4th down play for us, doesn't it?
Duper was in the end zone, but had to come back to make the catch and did not have possession across the plane of the goal line.
Completed pass, but the ball did not break the plane of the goal line. The play is being reviewed.
I don't think they're going to have a conclusive look. You'd have to have a camera right on the goal line. And from what we can see, it was a good call. Now, Joe, what do? 4th down from the 1. Your running attack has been inconsistent.
Well, I'll tell you, I got to give it to my big back and let him try to get it over the line.
That would be Tony Page, 235 pounds.
Yeah, but Tony doesn't get up very high. I might want to do.
The play stands as called. 4th down, half-yard line.
I might want to give it to a back that can get airborne a bit.
Smith and Page will be the running backs. 2 tight ends, Edmonds and Beatty. The winner of the game moves to the playoffs. There are 48 seconds left. Shula's Dolphins trail the New York Jets 17-13. The Dolphins with a 4th and goal from the half-yard line.
Quarterback bootleg would be a gutsy call.
Marino to throw. Wide open for the touchdown, Edmonds. Stoyanovich for the point after.
This was a nice play-action fake here, right here. Phil Edmonds, these guys are going to bite, and he's going to slip out into the end zone wide open. Both defenders, linebackers, came up for the run fake, and no one is back there on Edmonds.
Well, if you're the best in the business go to the air from the half-yard line. Marino succeeds with a wide-open pass to Edmonds. And the Dolphins could be on their way to the playoffs. 44 seconds left. Remember, the Jets just need 3 to tie if they can somehow get a big play.
The Jets have 2 timeouts remaining, I believe.
Farrell Edmonds making the reception for the touchdown. Dan Marino shaking off an interception at the goal line on the previous possession, throws the perhaps winning touchdown of the game. Had 2 clutch plays in the game, that pass and the one he had on the last play of the first half to tie the game at 7. Stoyanovich with a kick. Mathis breaks free. Tripped up at the 32. Farrell Edmonds, who caught the touchdown pass, just got a hand on the streaking Terrence Mathis to trip him up. Jets with 2 timeouts left, 38 seconds on the clock. Burkett and Toon are wide to the left. Moore and Mathis to the right. O'Brien heaves downfield, wide open. The catch made at the 47. Rob Moore got in the middle of the defense again, and the Jets stopped the clock with their second timeout, 27 seconds left.
That was a big completion.
23 yards. Ball spotted at the 47-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. O'Brien consulting with his head coach and offensive coordinator, Bruce Coslet. Coming up, the Chiefs and the Raiders, or the Broncos and the Chargers. That's the second game of our NBC doubleheader. The game could possibly, if they can get one more big play, come down to the man signed this week. Raul Alegre was working on his master's degree in civil engineering at the University of Texas in Austin when the Jets called, needed someone to replace the injured Pat Leahy. Louis Aguiar had a chance last week and hit only 1 of 2. So Alegre tried out, was signed, the newest member of the New York Jets. His last field goal good after bouncing off the upright. It could come down to a tying attempt for Alegre. But first, the Jets must get closer. Again, O'Brien has a man open. Terrence Mathis has a first down to the 33-yard line of the Dolphins. That's a 50-yard attempt right now. Saving a timeout. O'Brien throws it incomplete for Mathis. 8 seconds left. Will they try one more play?
Yeah, you could try one more play as long as you have that one more timeout left. They have 1 timeout left, so he can call a pass to complete it in the middle of the field and call a quick timeout, but it's got to be pretty fast.
The ball is at the 33-yard line. That would be a 50-yard field goal attempt if they get no closer. Alegre signed this week. What are his thoughts right now?
But Aguiar hit a 51-yarder up at New England that was called back. They may go to the long kicker. What is this?
McNeil on a draw. They don't have enough time, do they? Out of bounds. 2 seconds left.
That's cutting it close.
Which is the understatement of the day. Coslet says hurry up. He doesn't want a delay call.
He's got 30 seconds left, 28 seconds on the play clock. He has time going.
It'll be a 44-yard attempt. Raul Alegre to tie. What pressure. Raul Alegre has made a lot of new friends in a hurry.
He certainly has. Oh, what pressure. Did he respond to the pressure? Oh, my. Perfect kick. Looks like it's going to go a little left, but then it comes right back in toward the middle. Nice little draw, nearly the center. High ball game, and we're going into sudden death. My, oh, my. That draw play to Freeman McNeil was a gutsy call.
Was it ever a gutsy call?
A good hold by Alegre. Got to give that man credit, too, for getting it down there. Or a good hold by Aguiar, excuse me. I keep getting those two names a little bit confused.
The Miami Dolphins have won the toss and will receive to start the overtime period. The playoffs still up for grabs.
A special Christmas edition of Unsolved Mysteries, Secrets of UFOs, amazing eyewitness accounts, plus how you help reunite a family for Christmas. Unsolved Mysteries, Wednesday.
Everyone claims low prices. Roberts proves it. Proof. Roberts' price on this beautiful leather chair and matching ottoman is just $199. Proof. Roberts' price on this great-looking roll-top desk is an incredible $179. Plus, use your Roberts charge and enjoy 90 days, same as cash. Proof once again, you don't need to bother with all the others when it costs less at Roberts.
Bad news. Meek's got new shoes. He's got custom fit and support on top. Flip a switch. He's got it below, too.
It's the new Reebok double pump. Now get back up there.
Hey!
The double pump. Pretty scary.
Hey, get back here, man.
Steak and Ale asks, what's keeping you from our $8.95 prime rib special? Oh, well, you're missing prime rib, salad bar, and baked potato. Just $8.95 every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night. Maybe next week.
11 Live News, Atlanta's only expanded late news, weeknights at 11.
Crowd of 73,000 at Joe Robbie Stadium as Raul Alegre signed this week, hitting a 44-yard field goal as time ran out in regulation to send this battle for the playoffs into overtime.
I guess some folks might wonder what would happen if this ends in a tie, which I really don't believe it's going to end in a tie, but Miami would win in that case, right? Miami would go to the playoffs.
Right, Jets must win to make it to the playoffs. And the winner will play either at Denver, if Denver loses to San Diego today, or at Houston, should the Broncos win. Now, Coslet and Gordon McCarter having a little set-to over by the Jets bench. I don't know what over. And Coslet is agitated.
He's livid. Very upset.
What could this be about, Joe?
I can't figure it out myself. I don't know what he's talking about. The Jets are kicking up. Maybe he wanted to kick it the other way. I don't know. There's no wind factor to speak of. I don't know what difference it would make kicking one direction or the other, so we don't know what, but he is certainly incensed.
Well, now, Aguiar all day has been doing that by design, high, short kick. Do you do that here?
No, I wouldn't. I'd kick the thing long myself if he's a long kicker. I don't want to give... If I'm the Jet defense, I'd want to back Marino's offense up as far as possible. But they have been kicking the ball high for a reason, so they very well may stay with it.
Here's Aguiar's kick, and overtime is underway. That's a real short one. Beatty, now Logan, and they'll have the ball at the 33-yard line. Joe, I don't know about that. The field goal sends the Jets home.
I don't like it. No, I can't figure that out. I mean, you do have people for the Dolphins back there. Logan is used to catching the ball. And they got Aguiar in the first place because he kicks the ball in the end zone.
So Dan Marino in overtime. For the day, Marino has hit 26 of 41, 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Page and Higgs, the running backs. Play action pass from Marino. Plenty of
incompletion, Joe, after the short kick, and you're almost to midfield.
That's what I mean. Duper runs a turn-in pattern, gets underneath Brim, and Marino puts the ball right there in Duper's chest. My goodness, one more completion, and they're going to be in field goal position, at least one of that nature.
Duper, 7 receptions, 86 yards. Went over the 1,000-yard mark today. He and Clayton both. Marino down the sideline. Page can't get there. Mark Duper down the sideline.
I was going to say, if Page
wasn't that fast.
If Page can pick him up and put him down that fast, that is a story.
So Marino tries for the quick strike. And now we'll face 2nd and 10.
You got to figure the Jets front is tired. They need to get pressure back there on Marino, but here we are in the 5th quarter. Pete Carroll's defense has to be tired.
2nd and 10. Smith replaces Higgs in the backfield. Marino pressured. Almost a one-handed grab by Sammy Smith. Marvin Washington had a hand on Marino. That would have been in the grasp a year ago, but the new rule allowed Marino to get it underway and almost to completion.
This was a terrific play by Dan Marino. By avoiding this loss, he's got a shot with 3rd and 10. There's Washington, and Marino nearly completed the pass to Sammy Smith. If Marino takes the sack, it would be a 3rd and 20 situation, a tough one. But how he found Smith, and I don't know.
Jensen in the backfield. Duper, Miller, Clayton, and Martin wide receivers. Now Jensen in motion. Clayton fumbled it. Did he ever have possession? No, incomplete pass.
Wow.
Clayton was blasted by R.J. Coors.
Wow, did Coors lay a hit down that time? Oh, my goodness. R.J. Coors, watch this hit, folks. Oh, boom. He dropped the ball before Coors got there anyway.
They saw it coming, didn't they?
I don't know whether they saw it coming, but Marino couldn't have delivered it any better.
Now, remember, Reggie Roby, the Dolphins punter, has been injured earlier in the game, so Stoyanovich, the place kicker, has tried only one. He got a good roll, and it covered 49 yards. Mathis is deep. Stoyanovich, another pretty good punt. And gets another excellent bounce. Mathis takes it on the bounce and is across the 20-yard line. Let's check in now with Bob Costas at NFL Live. Well, Tom, Raul Alegre is the man of the moment for the Jets, and he had such moments for you with the Giants, huh?
Oh, yeah, without question. He's a very good pressure kicker, Bob. In '86, he kicked 2 game winners, one in Minnesota and one against Denver. But the biggest kick that he had was against Washington in '89 on Monday night, 53-yarder. That's his longest kick of his career, and that won it for us down there, 27-24.
Look how happy you were about it. Of course, it was a longer kick, but it was week 1, not the end, and it was to snap a tie, not to create a tie. So this one was even more pressure. Let's go back to Tom and Joe. All right, Bob, the Jets with their first possession of overtime. They begin from their own 23. Johnny Hector having the game of his life. He's over 100 yards rushing in a reserve role for Blair Thomas, and only a twisting tackle by Bobby Harden prevented him from going all the way.
Well, I'll tell you something. You look right here. All of these guys are on the line. There's nobody back here to stop Hector once he breaks through the first hole. He's going to get through this huge hole. Now there's no one to make the tackle until he gets back to the safety.
Jets with a first down. They've advanced the ball to their own 39. 114 yards for Hector. First time since 1989 that he's exceeded 100 yards rushing. Hector again finds a way to get through, and he's across the 45-yard line. Hector started left,
saw an opening to the right, darted through it, and had another good game.
Oh, Hector is seeing things. He's seeing daylight. He's running better as the game gets old. You know, most running backs would tell you, man, you give me that ball 20, 25 times, I get my rhythm going. Hector, every time he carries it, seems to be able to find the open hole. Now Freeman McNeil is taking Johnny Hector's place in the backfield.
The two Jet veteran running backs, McNeil and Hector, carrying the day in the absence of the injured Blair Thomas. Freeman McNeil, nothing there for him that time. Jolted to the turf by the center of the Dolphin defense, led by Cliff Odom. McNeil and Odom came into the NFL at the same time. Odom as a linebacker out of Texas Arlington, and McNeil out of UCLA. Now it's third down, 2 yards to go from the Dolphin 47. We're in overtime, tied at 20, the winner to the playoffs. O'Brien in the shotgun. Dolphins have their nickel defense. McNeil on a run. Cut back across the center. Into Dolphin territory and a Jet first down. Iaquinello on the saving tackle for the Dolphins.
Oh, tricky play. They show pass and then hands the ball to McNeil, and he gets in there behind the fine blocking by Dave Pattigan, number 66.
McNeil has rushed for 49 yards to go with Hector's 121. Tom Olivadotti, defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, sees his defense now giving up chunks of yardage. Gets to the first down. O'Brien on the play action made a good fake, and then the ball dropped by Chris Dressel.
Well, the Jets wanted to get more that time. Dressel was the outlet receiver. O'Brien had receivers streaking downfield and wanted to go downfield. Came to Dressel, dropped the ball. He certainly would have picked up 5 or 6 yards on the play and a perfectly thrown pass.
Instead, it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Jets. Dressel on the sideline. Mark Boyer back in at the tight end. Delayed handoff to Hector. Johnny Hector again on the loose in the Miami secondary. He's to the 35. Louis Oliver stopped him there. Johnny Hector, one of the best afternoons of his 9-year career.
Once again, they're going to start the flow going that way, and Hector's going to cut back in here and make the big gainer. It's going to be the flow that gets Miami going one way. Hector cutting back into a huge hole.
Johnny Hector, 133 yards, the 4th all-time leading Jets rusher. One of the best games of his career and one of the biggest games of his career. This time, Hector taken down for a loss, and Louis Oliver ready for the running play that time. Oliver from that safety spot, stopping Hector for a loss of 2 or 3 yards. Someone needs to rise to the occasion. It was Oliver for the defense. Perhaps Allegre now with a chance to win it if the Jets can get in field goal range.
Well, I know Bill Parcells said earlier that Allegre had hit a 53-yarder in 86. They're certainly not in that range yet, but Allegre, I don't know whether his talents are still that good to hit him that long.
2nd down. O'Brien lost it. Rob Moore has it at the 10. Rob Moore on a crossing pattern beat J.B. Brown. The pass completion covers 30 yards, and the ball marked inside the Miami 10-yard line.
Rob Moore catches a perfectly thrown pass by O'Brien, who was under heavy pressure. Look where that ball comes in. J.B. Brown couldn't do a thing about it. Brad Baxter, I might add, made a tremendous block on the last play to give O'Brien the time to throw it.
1st and goal. The ball between the 8 and 9 of the Dolphins. We're in overtime, tied at 20. The winner goes to the playoffs. O'Brien throws it. Incomplete. Joe, 3 points sends you to the playoffs while
don't believe that. That's what I'm saying. Even Allegre, I mean, he hasn't been kicking. You expect him to make it from here, and now you're chancing a holding penalty?
Offensive pass interference against the Jets.
Now you're backing things up. You take a chance there. Coach Costlet obviously wanted to get this touchdown and not put the pressure on Allegre to make the kick, but when you put the ball in the air, a lot of things can happen, and one of them's a penalty against the offense.
Pass interference. Number 88, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Al Toon called for offensive pass interference.
You don't take this chance again. Here's Al Toon, number 88. Well, he gets his hands on that defender right away. Now, that is a weak call. I'll tell you, that's one of the all-time worst calls. Away from the play, he's not even running the pass pattern. How did he push off the defender? He put his hands up there. That was a very weak call.
Now the ball stepped back to the 18-yard line. This time they keep it on the ground, and Freeman McNeil is to the 14.
Yeah, they keep it on the ground. You can bet they're going to keep it on the ground from now on, too. You do not want to take a chance being that close at this stage to have something go awry with a pass play. I mean, they're going to go to Allegre, and I would guess they'd do it on third down or so in case there's a fumbled snap. That way you don't have to give the ball up. You try it on third down. If there's a fumbled snap, the holder falls on it, and then you kick it on fourth down. This is going to be a running play, or I'll be very surprised.
Second and goal from the 14. McNeil is the only running back. Gets the handoff and cut back. Couple of yards to the 12. And on third down, Raul Allegre onto the field.
I wonder how his stomach feels right now. You know, you've heard that thing about butterflies flying around in there. I got it. It's probably some condors flying around in there right now, some big birds.
This will be from 30 yards for the playoffs. And the Dolphins call a timeout to let him think about it. Icing the kicker.
And Allegre has returned to the sideline.
Well, we're going to take a breather. Allegre will try to win it when we come back.
Nothing carves the road like the new Prelude from Honda.
This castle once had 26 bathrooms.
It'd be nice if one of them still worked.
Why?
What if my diarrhea comes back?
Relax. You took my Imodium AD tablet.
Just once. I usually take the pink stuff 2 or 3 times.
Imodium AD is much better.
Imodium AD caplets are so effective, they often work in one dose. Instead of dose after dose after dose, like the pink stuff.
Ready to go?
Before the sun sets?
Imodium AD for diarrhea, the choice for one-dose relief.
Raul Allegre ready to try it. 30-yard attempt. Released by the Giants earlier in the season, November 28th. Signed by the Jets this week. This could send New York to the playoffs. Aguiar will hold. The underdog Jets. Gordon McCarter standing right in front of Allegre. Now backs out of the way. Well, the Jets would be 8-8 and headed for the playoffs if they can kick this one. Does the glass slipper fit Cinderella? Yeah.
for the playoffs. This is the Canon camcorder replay of the game. Raul Allegre, 30-yard field goal to win it. And the employee owners of Avis salute our game MVP, Allegre. He's the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. Allegre in overtime wins it for the New York Jets. Coslin headed for